extra confidence that comes from a 10% gambler's insurance, because anything can happen during March Mania. Bet US Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins. Get started today.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You know, it seems like everybody's talking about the traffic on Valley Roads these days. You know what else everybody's talking about? The absolute best restaurant to take your family and friends to. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. Now with 2 Valley locations. No one does it better than Kasai, where talented Teppanyaki chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is dinnertainment at its best, where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's a perfect choice for any occasion. Choose from over 50 different items and combinations of teppanyaki. Looking for great dining without the show? Kasai offers an awesome selection on Asian-inspired dishes and tasty sushi. Happy hour deals daily from 6 p.m. and enjoy outdoor dining on the heated patio. So whether you're here for spring training, March Madness, or just to enjoy the Arizona sunshine, don't just take your guests to dinner. You take them to Kasai Japanese Steakhouse with 2 locations, Scottsdale and now in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppen.com. That's Kasai Teppen.com, or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
K2SN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CDP at 99.3 FM. K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live from the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale for the only time this week. Feels good. Anyway, because the rest of the week we've got NCAA March Madness, and we're the only station who can actually use the words March Madness. Everybody else has to say other things, but no, we get to, because every single day we will have the best action of March Madness here on 1580 The Fanatic. Tomorrow it's the first 4, and then on Wednesday it's more of the first 4, and then Thursday, Friday, that's first round, Saturday, Sunday, that's second round, and then of course we take you all the way through all of March Madness until we find ourselves a champion. But I actually have the lineup. I have the games that are going to be featured. I know that during the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's a lot like Sunday Ticket. There's like a main matchup that they have, but then if that gets boring, they switch to something else. But on Tuesday and Wednesday, actual games will be heard. You got Wagner versus Howard. You got Colorado State versus Virginia. That's on Tuesday. On Wednesday, Grambling State versus Montana State. And then after that, Colorado is taking on Boise State. Those are the actual games for Tuesday and Wednesday. We will not be here, but enjoy the games. And then on Thursday, I don't know if I even need to tell you who's featured, although Radio Ron would want to know that Michigan State is the first featured game on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. It's Michigan State and Mississippi State. Ooh. And then a lot of our favorite, well, at least if nothing else, name of a school, Morehead State. They are taking on Illinois. I mean, I don't even know where Morehead State is, but they're all very happy wherever it is.
Does it matter?
It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Morehead State seems like a place we should all want to be. Anyway, so then after that, it doesn't matter. Just tune in and you'll hear the best action available for March Madness. So anyways, that's what's going on here on the big radio station. And by the way, today is National Sloppy Joe Day.
Oh,
love me a nice Sloppy Joe. I haven't had one in years.
It's been a while.
There
It
is
has been a
nothing
while.
like a good sloppy Joe.
They still sell Manwich. I don't know why we all don't have a can of Manwich in the pantry. You know what I'm saying? We should all have Sloppy Joe. By the way, there has been some controversy over who invented the Sloppy Joe.
Okay.
One thing we do know, it comes from Cuba. The original does come from Cuba. That's a true story. But here's what they're saying. One claim says that the sandwich showed up at 1920 in Havana, Cuba. A bartender named Jose Otero created and successfully sold this simple sandwich. It's based on a Cuban dish of shredded beef, tomato sauce, and some spices. And then he's like, hey, look at here. And then the people who would go in there, they're like, the floor was always wet. Because he sold iced seafood. And then, of course, that would melt, and then the floor would get all sloppy. So because of that, his name was Joe, and they called him Sloppy Joe. So then they called the sandwich Sloppy Joes. That's where the name came from.
Huh.
But, I mean, the sandwich is pretty sloppy, too. So,
yeah.
But then somebody else says, oh, no, that's not true. Nobel Prize winner and popular writer Ernest Hemingway says, no. I used to go to this bar. And Joe Russell, he just opened up a bar in Key West, and he served that same sandwich, but he tried to call it the Havana sandwich, but everybody there called it Sloppy Joe. I don't give a damn where it came from. That's it's a good sandwich.
Oh yeah, it's good eating.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's that. But I'm pretty sure they still make Manwich, and we shall have a Sloppy Joe sometime soon.
Yes,
It's a good point.
I don't know why we haven't had a Sloppy Joe already. Why aren't we
know.
having a Sloppy Joe right now?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
Bear Claw says, hey, how are Ralph's crabs? I don't remember. What was this? You have to ask his
We
wife.
had a texter.
No,
we had
there
a
was a-
texter from Canada. I'm sorry, Keon. Didn't mean to step
Oh,
on.
okay.
Had a texter from Canada who's who likes to go crabbing and wanted the name Ralph Has Crabs.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Really, Ralph wanted you to call it I have crabs so that
So
you would
I
be
have
the
to say it.
yeah, but then you suggested Ralph has crabs and the texter thought that was funny, and then Ralph got really mad about it, so the texter changed his name.
What did we ultimately go with for this guy's name? Because I know he's like he accepted some other thing. What was it? I can't
Wasn't one
remember
of
now.
my spectacular names, which was
Was it Uncanny Canuck he settled
it
on, or
was
the other one?
Uncanny Canuck.
But I don't
because
see him.
There
on
was
here.
two other options, and
Yeah,
you chose one of those.
Well, I thought it'd be the maple leaf or the maple syrup Mountie.
That was the other one. So I don't remember which one of those he chose.
It's not on here either.
Hmm.
Oh, I can't find him anywhere on here. Now I'm wondering if
Ralph
Ralph
has
deleted
crabs.
him. Ralph might have deleted the guy.
Ralph Has Crabs.
When he came in and was doing the show, I wonder if he deleted the guy. Oh, there he is. Ralph Has Crabs is still in the system. He says, no, keep my name as Ralph Has Crabs. It's funnier that way.
Oh, I thought he was going to change it because
That's what
him
I
and
thought.
Ralph were fellow Seahawks fans or whatever, and he didn't want Ralph to hate him. Which is,
Oh.
if you stick with Ralph Has Crabs,
Yeah.
he will definitely hate you. Just as
well,
a,
he has opted at this moment at 3:05 p.m. on March 18th in the year of our Lord 2024.
hmm
Keep my name as Ralph Has Crabs. It's funnier that way.
And there it is,
I-
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Ralph Has Crabs wants to know if we'll be carrying the NIT.
No.
Yes, we are. Not the tournament. I think we are carrying just the championship. Let me fast forward here on our calendar.
Tell you who won't be there. That St. Mary's will not be in.
Oh my! No, we've got the semifinals. So there's the semifinals.
Oh my
And then
God,
the
we're off
championship.
next week too. Yeah,
Well, we're only
nice.
off part of Tuesday for this, but
We're off all next week, ladies and gentlemen. 2 weeks off. It's glorious.
I don't have any help for you, Ralph Has Crabs, on the Utes game against UC Irvine. But I do have if they make it to the semifinals or finals, you'll hear it here on 1580 Fanatic. You're welcome. We are contractually obligated to do so. I didn't do this as a way of getting out of anything. We are just contractually obligated to do so.
Yeah.
And we're not displeased that it's happening.
I'm saying this in case Ron is listening and wants to try to slam the door on this one, but we are contractually obligated to play this. And also, you signed the contract. So we'll just leave it at that. 888-368-1580. Mr. Wilbur says, scouring the March Madness bracket there, and I'm struggling to find the Tempe ASU on there. Don't be an a-hole, Wilbur. You know that your team, the U Chalupas, will be there for a day, and then they'll be gone. So, enjoy that while you can. Enjoy it while you can. Here's somebody's going to be there. GCU has won the WAC tournament over the weekend, and there was each game, the other teams are a little bit snarky, a little bit grumpy. There was a little grumpiness on Friday, and then there was a little more grumpiness on Saturday. Maybe GCU deserves some grumpiness on Saturday at the end of the game with like 3 seconds left. Old Moore comes down and slams down a dunk after a fast break. They're just trying to clear the ball out, and they're thinking, he'll just go down there and dribble it. He's like, and he slam dunks it.
Bryce Drew on the sideline screaming no while he's just throwing down this dunk.
Moore would not be denied, but I guess Russell on the other team, he was not happy, so he gave him a shoulder as he ran by, and then it almost turned into a thing, but Bryce Drew ran out there, was directing traffic. Like, no, I thought he was running out there to complain about something. No, he's just like, no, foreseeing the future.
All of you
off the floor.
Bench now. Yeah.
Oh, it was great. It was great. But Grand Canyon handled their business solidly on Friday and Saturday night. So now they are in the tournament, and we will have that game for you when they play number 5 St. Mary's on Friday at about 7:00. Now, Keon, that's St. Mary's. By the way, I was just a little surprised. Grand Canyon wasn't ranked 16. They're 12.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that.
There's no need to be. Like that was awesome. Have been high on them this entire season. They've played incredibly good basketball. I think that a lot of people have looked at this team and acknowledged that this is probably the best team in the history of GCU. And they were able to win some out of conference games that really bumped them up and got them some respect. And so there was a little bit of an undercurrent of thought that if GCU won their conference tournament and they helped themselves by being, co-regular season champs as well, they were going to get better than a 16 seed and have a real chance of playing a team they could actually beat.
Well, I am thrilled for them. I think that's amazing. It's funny, Mr. Wilbur, you were looking for some help scouring the sheet, trying to find ASU, but where's number 1 Arizona? I can't find number 1.
They're in the same zone, in the West region.
Oh,
number
they're
1.
Not number 1. Oh.
What happened there? Yeah.
You're so bad. So anyhow, the odds against Grand Canyon playing St. Mary's ain't small. The 5.5 points on the spread, and if you take GCU on the money line, you get plus 190. By the way, Corby Craig from BetUS, he'll be with us in the next hour to give us a little bit of insight on how to bet the tournament. But yeah, right. St. Mary's is number 5. Grand Canyon is number 12. So just automatically, they're going to favor St. Mary's. But how do these teams match up, Keon? Does GCU have any kind of a chance? I mean, of course they have a chance, but they're a good team. They weren't ranked 16; they're ranked 12. So, tell me about how they match up with St. Mary's.
Yeah, they match up pretty well. I think it's just St. Mary's is tough. That is a tough draw. St. Mary's has been really good all year long. They've controlled and pretty much dominated the West Coast Conference. They had that championship game with Gonzaga where, Gonzaga usually runs that thing, and St. Mary's just bludgeoned them, just knocked them upside the head. So, that's a really boy, that's a tough team to pull. But if you can shoot the basketball well, and GCU has shown that they can, yeah, you're going to have an opportunity to beat this team if you play a more up tempo kind of game. And then I think GCU also has some defenders on that squad that are top level defensive guys. I think Ray Harrison has shown that he can be that. Gabe McLaughlin has been that. And Tyon Grant Foster, who I think gets a lot of credit for his offense, has elevated himself defensively this season as well. So I do think GCU has like a solid shot, but it is going to be an uphill battle because St. Mary's is a good squad. They're a good squad.
Well, here's hoping. Of course, we'll be tuning in for GCU on Friday night. Yeah, listen, have you gone over? Have you signed up yet? Are you ready? Did you get yourself all sorted out with the Harmon Solar, Harmon Solar Fanatic March Madness Bracket Challenge? You could win $1,580 if you win the best bracket. Don't have to have a perfect one, just got to have the best one. $1,580 from our friends at Harmon Solar. For second place, a $500 gift card from Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. You could just keep going and going and going to Kasai. And man, I tell you what, that is an amazing event every time you go. And it's great for a date, great for any occasion, going to Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. So, hey, everybody, guess what? Charlie Boy is back.
Charlie Boy. It's been a long time. I had to try and rattle the brain around and remember. Charlie Boy.
Randy's not too happy about that because he actually had Charlie Boy put in prison.
Yeah. See, he finally got out, did he?
Yep. He finally got out of the Hooskow. He says, guys, I'm back and happy Sloppy Joe's Day. Not surprised ASU is not in the tournament. At least GCU and that other team is in. So good luck to those teams. Nah, only good luck to GCU, Charlie
GCU.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just GCU. Cards Chappie says, I'm picking my alma mater, GCU, for the 5-12 upset. Yeah, here's hoping, man. Here's hoping. The Jet says, I love the new Saturday show that Keon is doing. For the longest time, I've been waiting for a good show on Saturday on your station, and now we finally got one. Thanks, Keon.
I appreciate that. That's really nice of you to say.
Yeah, you're just waiting for the joke, right?
Just a little bit, but no, I appreciate that a lot.
Nothing there. Fifth letter says, let me tell you about those Moorhead frat girls. Let's just say every day is National Sloppy Joe Day for them.
Wow.
I actually thought we were going to get that one sooner.
Wow.
I think you did. I just never got it. I'm hitting it down the list. Brunswick guy says, question. Oh, I already answered that. President Wallet says, yeah, thank you, Keon. I've been waiting for a good show on this station as well.
It now seems like I put a bunch of people up to this, and I promise you I didn't.
Yeah. Well, I think you missed. It's like he's been waiting for a good show on this station, period.
Yeah. No, just at all.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not listening to one of those at the moment.
All right.
Sorry. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Kiss my ass. So, a lot of people are very happy to be getting to go to the NCAA tournament, whether it's for the guys or for the gals. Well, the NCAA women's tournament, I guess this is, let me know if you tell me if this is good idea or bad idea. And I think personally, I feel like it's a bad idea. West Virginia's head coach called out Iowa saying, I already told I told the players here, let's win one and send Caitlin Clark packing. Okay, on Selection Sunday, West Virginia finds out that they made it. Of course, Iowa made it, and they won't play them in the first round, but they could play them in the second round. And so that's what they're saying. Let's win one, and then we'll send Caitlin Clark packing. Shouldn't it be we'll send Iowa packing? Why would you focus your entire team on a singular person? It just seemed, I don't know, it made her seem like a bigger deal, and it made you seem like a lesser. I just did not like that. I didn't like that tact by that coach. Tell me if you think I'm wrong, because I feel like it's not the way to motivate your people.
It's not. And I understand the trying to make a bulletin board thing of just, the media has gone on about Caitlin Clark. And I do think to the a little bit of erasure of other teams that are really good and really interesting, but they focused in on Caitlin. And so there's a little resentment there. And I do think the coach is trying to play off of that. The problem I have with it, aside from the fact that you're now making this not about a team, is that there are other players on Iowa, and like they're not the greatest players, but they complement Caitlin really well. And if you focus on her and just her, and you don't worry about some of these other shooters that they have, and a couple of players in the post that are really polished, you are going to lose that basketball game just as a matter of fact. That they can beat you in more ways than just Clayton Clark got the ball. So I think that you're doing your team a disservice there because now everyone's going to be focused on Caitlin, and she's not the only person who can beat you.
Well, I feel like you need to beat Princeton first. I feel like you should be concentrating.
Maybe
on that.
Maybe don't overlook the opponent directly in front of you too. That too.
Number 9, Princeton, just sitting there going,
"What are we?"
Yeah, I mean,
don't get me wrong. And if your goal is to sit there and get your team fired up, you understand that the other coach is going to sit there, Princeton in particular, and look at you and go, "Oh, so they're already looking past us."
Yep.
And the level of embarrassment your players are going to feel if you don't get that done and you don't beat Princeton because you overlooked them. This is how upsets happen in March. This is how it happens. Exactly stuff like that.
Kind of a bad idea, old Kellogg. So anyways, I'm not going to watch this game, but I just thought, worth talking about. 888-368-1580. We got to take a break. When we come back, we have many things to talk about. In a little bit, we'll have Keon Rose's college basketball NCAA March Madness, all the names, and dance party. And I don't know, what's the other thing? There was another thing. Oh, yeah, we're going to get some betting advice from Corby Craig a little bit later on, too. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NBA tonight, the Lakers are home to take on the Atlanta Hawks. Los Angeles, a 9-point favorite, minus 400 on the money line, while the Hawks are plus 315. Atlanta coming off a win Sunday against the Clippers, while the Lakers have lost back-to-back games. The over-under tonight at Crypto.com Arena, 225.5. Golden State home to take on the Knicks in San Francisco. The Warriors, a 6.5-point favorite at home, minus 250 on the money line. The Knicks plus 205. The over-under at 211.5. And Sacramento, 11-point favorite tonight against Memphis with an over-under in Sacramento at 221. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Minimum purchase required. Interest accrues from date of purchase but is waived if paid within promotional period. Go to windowappointmentnow.com for full offer details.
Attention homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? Fog between the glass? Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's time to replace. And right now you can get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen. Plus with our March 31-day sales event, you can save $377 off every window and $777 off every door when you buy 4 or more units. Just text OWN to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no monthly payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Text OWN to 200-300 to save $377 off every window and $777 off every door when you buy 4 or more units. Hurry, this incredible 31-day sales offer is only in March. Text OWN to 200-300. Text the word OWN to 200-300. OWN to 200-300.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Have you guys filled out your brackets? Have you sorted it out yet? Have you done it?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to do that?
About 5 minutes. Did it just before we got on the air here.
Yeah,
I'm not done. Did
anything catch you? Are you stumped on something? Is there Are you sort of stymied by anything?
Oh no.
No, you just feel like you've got a handle on everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Randy was giving me some of his top upsets even.
Yeah.
Along the way, stuff that he's.
I got upsets up the wazoo. Yeah.
There's some good ones. But
I don't remember seeing him.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple that I have to give some extra thought to. The Texas Tech NC State one's really interesting.
Why is that?
Because Texas Tech's been really good all year long. NC State is hot right now, though, and they really. I don't know if it's fair to say, but they really remind me of that UConn team back in 2010, I think, with Kemba Walker, where they got hot. They were a lower seed in the Big East tournament, won the Big East tournament, just 4 or 5 games in a row, and then got into the NCAA tournament and won all those games until they were national champs. And I'm not saying that that's what NC State's going to do, but they remind me of that team an awful lot. Just getting hot at the right time.
So the first 4, I see them, here on the sheet, right? And nobody from that's ever won a tournament. If I'm pretty sure I'm right? Nobody from that has ever won a tournament, and more than likely gotten past the first game that afterwards.
Well, not
I'm
really,
guessing.
because some of the first 4 game that exists. Let me see if I can take a look and see who that's.
Well, I've got it. The first 4 game, Wagner versus Howard.
Yeah. Those are 2 16s, right?
Yes.
That one, obviously it's tough that you're not moving past a 1 very often if you're a 16. But one of the other first 4 games,
Colorado State 10, Virginia 10.
Yeah. And so if you're a 10, you absolutely can move on. I've seen, Syracuse, they won a first 4 game, and then they play their unusual zone that no one else can figure out how to beat unless you play in the ACC. They went all the way to the Sweet 16. So
okay, so Wagner versus Howard, which is the first 4 game tomorrow at 3:30. Nobody from that's going to go anywhere. But the next one, Colorado State and Virginia, might. The next day on Wednesday, again, Grambling State, Montana State, a couple of 16s. Nobody from that is going anywhere. Colorado versus Boise. Well, they're 2 10s. So they might go somewhere. So you've got to look at the Colorados. If you want to remember that when you're filling out your brackets, the Colorados, give them a little bit of a closer look up against their opponent. Now, if you're looking at them right now, Keon, the Colorados, who can they beat? Do you see them beating the person that okay, so Colorado State would take on Texas, right? No, wait. Yeah, in the first round.
Yeah.
So if Colorado State beats Virginia, then do you see, well, honestly, Colorado State or Virginia beating Texas?
They can.
Would you pick that on your bracket?
I'm sad to say, I might.
Really?
Yeah. Texas has a choke gene. This Texas squad, these guys choke.
That's your team, man.
That I don't care. That's just the fact.
Gene.
That's the facts. Like, I've watched them this season. I want to say nothing.
Choke gene.
Nothing. I don't want to say anything bad about them. I want nothing bad to happen. But do I trust them? Not any further than I can throw the collective group of guys. There is a strong possibility they choke that first round matchup. I don't think so, but I have to think about it. I do.
Well, so Colorado State, Texas, unclear for Keon. How about Colorado or Boise State? Do you give them any kind of a chance with Florida? Realistically, would you pick Florida, over both of those teams, or do you give one of those 2 teams the edge over Florida, whoever wins?
Boy, might give Colorado the edge over Florida, but 10s beat 7s all the time, man. Like that's just not even.
I know, but what would you pick?
What would I pick?
You pick Florida, or do you pick Colorado, or do you pick BSU?
Because
Because I'm trying to
I
establish
think-
that you
I
can
think-
pick your bracket and set it and forget it and don't worry about the first four.
I don't think you can.
Okay.
Whenever it comes
Great.
to those,
now we have homework, Randy.
when it comes to those 10s, I don't think you can just set it and forget it. I've always waited until after those games are done, and I usually get one of those because I'm judging the team that's actually playing on the floor, as opposed to the numbers. Like the rankings are not these hard and fast things. When you have 7 and a 10 playing each other, those teams are pretty close.
Look, if Boise wins that play-in game against Colorado, I give Boise the edge.
Wow.
If Colorado wins, I don't give Colorado the edge.
So here's the thing. I have my technique. Now you guys are using brains. I am not. I am using the team with the least amount of vowels wins. So as these games happen, I'm going to have to go in there and change possibly who I think is going to go forward and play Marquette. So, this is a pain in my ass now that I think about it. The fact that I have to make my changes based on that. But you guys, at least, you can just use your noggin on this. But here's the thing I've run into. Now, I did go ahead and finish my bracket, but I did use a little tomfoolery in the early rounds because I just couldn't see a number 1 seed going down to a 16. So I found ways of getting around the least vowels by adding the formal name of the university onto the other team. And I'm like, haha. And then after I'm done, I kind of was like, that's not the way I was supposed to do this. So here's what I'm going to do. I have filled out this bracket. It is on the CBS Sports platform that we have for the Harmon Solar 15A The Fanatic Bracket Challenge. I am going to create another me, and I'm going to go in there and fill it out to the letter, like Ralph said, where we were going to go ahead and do this, where I'm strict. Fewest vowels, and then whoever has the lowest, low letter, kind of like when you're playing cards, you have a high card, whatever, low card, and then I'll fill out that bracket. I will not end up with the same outcome in that bracket that I had on my first go. My first go has Baylor winning the whole thing and going and meeting Duke in the finals.
Wow.
Okay.
It's possible.
It is possible.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
But I did have to.
I wouldn't be stunned if that happened.
I did have to play the State University to get like a lower seed thrown out. And what about that one? They're only UConn. Okay, fine. Okay, there's 2 vowels there. I kind of had to fudge with it a little bit on some of these. 95% of it straight up did it the way I was supposed to. But then I remembered in the back of my head, Ralph was like, no, we're going to do this exactly as is. So, okay, this is the version that I did with a little bit of adjustment. And then I'll have another version, what I did with just exactly as we said it would be.
All right.
So it doesn't matter. I can't win no money anyway. So who cares what I do? Anyway, but I'm just trying another new idea. They always fail. Sometimes they've been scary at first, like, oh my God, this is looking like it's going to work. No, it's not. It's not going to work. Never works. Nothing ever works. So everybody out there has a better chance of winning this thing than me. But Randy, so who do you have winning the whole damn thing?
UConn.
UConn, and who do they play when they win?
They play Tennessee when they win in the championship game. They'll play Tennessee.
All right, that's respectable. Keon, have you gotten to that point yet?
I have not. No.
He just doesn't want to be wrong. And then after when this is over, he'll come back and say, it was on here the entire time.
No, I fill out the bracket and I put it online so you can see my bracket. You can judge me on that.
All right.
It just takes me a while to do it. I did it last year. Everybody saw my bracket.
How do you do that, by the way? How do you put it online? Do I just take
I go to
the
the link on 1580 The Fanatic. I go to the CBS Sports link that we have there.
There's a share thing on there?
And I don't know if there's a share function, but you can actually look at all the people who've signed up in the group and see the rankings.
Oh, I thought you meant like you're putting up on Twitter going, here it is, bitches. And then,
Oh, no. I mean, I might put it on Twitter too, but it's going to be in that.
When you do, will you promise to say, here it is, bitches?
Sure. Why not?
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because it'll make me chuckle when I see it.
Yeah, I can do
that. Pinocchio says, Long Beach State over Arizona. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm rooting for. Long Beach State. They've come a long way to get here to this point. And we're looking at you, LBSU. You can do it.
And I always try and figure out which 13's beaten a 4 because it's happening. I don't know which one, but it happens. I always got to figure out which 12 and 5 are going the wrong way. So which 5 is going down. And then I always throw the 15-2 in there just to see. Yeah, and it works out sometimes. So
I got a 15-2. Is that
that's a 15-2 matchup? Yeah, Long Beach State and U Arizona. So I'm like,
can I just be honest? I've never even heard of Long Beach State until now, and now they're my favorite.
The only thing I really know about Long Beach State is that they're in the tournament pretty often. And you see, oh, there they are. They're back again.
It's their time.
That's because they're in one of those minor conferences. That get in for some reason.
Well, no, it's an at-large bid. I mean, look, GCU got in the same way, so I don't want to talk down on that. It's perfectly fine if you win your conference and you get in.
Talking about U Arizona, not the other guys.
They didn't win their tournament at all. That's why they're a 2 seed.
Oh,
yes, too bad.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
heartbreak. How about that? Damn.
Yeah, Long Beach State. I need a shirt or something. I need to root them on. Big George says I have North Carolina State going as far in my bracket as how far do you got them going there, Big George? Yeah, far. I also have Purdue bowing out early. Keon, do you think Purdue's going to choke again?
I sure hope not, because I like Zach Edey a lot, and it's usually not his fault when they go out. They just don't seem to have the guard play. But I think they've upgraded that this year, and I think they'll last a little longer. I still have trust issues with them from the last couple of seasons, but I do think that I think they'll make it out of the first round this time.
My system has Purdue going to the Final Four. So why
they're a hard to trust team, man.
Why is it when I bring up my system, everybody stops talking?
It's well, because I just it's the Purdue thing.
Respect my system.
It's about Purdue more than your system. It's just it's hard to trust them. They
you'll see.
They get to these big games and they just can't perform.
Against the Spread says Boise State is your best candidate. Ooh, that rhymes when he says that. Did you see that? Boise State
is
your best candidate of the first 4 teams to make the Sweet 16. Florida has injury issues along with Marquette, and Boise should be seated way higher than they are. The 1-4 seed that might lose is Kansas. They're banged up, and they're playing Samford team that plays ruthless defense and also can shoot the lights out with threes. All right. I thought that was a typo. So it's Samford and not Sanford?
Yeah, it is Samford. Yeah.
Oh, the hell is that from?
Samford.
Like Samford and Son?
No, that's San. That's
of the Southern Conference, if I'm not mistaken.
Ford.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thanks for that heads up against the Spread. I can't change my bracket with that information, but other people might want to. Let's see. Pierre says, hello, Jeffrey, Randy, and Keon. Is it true the only show of the week will be this one here? Yes. There'll be no show the rest of the week? No, we just told you that. It's today's the only show. The rest is March Madness. Oh, what am I supposed to do the rest of the week? Listen to sports in the morning with Enrico Sisson and Jean-Charles Lahoy at Montreal? Yeah, maybe just do that.
If you have to. I mean, it's...
Don't you guys have a French afternoon sports show somewhere? Just,
Sorry, Pierre.
Here's what you do. You miss us. You miss us horribly. And that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Haruto says, hello, Mr. Rose, Mr. O'Brien, Mr. Keon Rose, and Mr. Randy White. Oh, you got helloed twice.
Yeah, how about that?
I haven't filled out the slots yet, but I'm thinking of picking Tennessee to win it all. Any advice?
Don't pick Tennessee to win it all.
Don't do that.
I like Tennessee, and I have way too many friends that cover that program specifically. I could have a bias, but I don't. They are a hard to trust team. They have scoring droughts outside of Dalton Connect. I really don't know who they can rely on offensively. There are problems there.
Hook'em Hottie says, I'm not getting duped by Texas again. Not betting on them to get out of the first round, but who knows?
You can't hook them, Hottie. It's just my heart says, hey, take them as long as they can go. But I just don't think that this team is. I don't think this is a team that really knows how to close out games. There are a bunch of games they were beating teams they should have beaten, and then they get close to the end of the game and they fall apart. And it's happened again and again and again. I just don't trust it.
My heart says, ease up in the butter, jackwad. Okay. I'm just
okay.
I'm not feel like I'm using that much, but all right. Fish Tank says Long Beach Dirtbags. Always love that name. Is that actually their name? The Long Beach Dirtbags?
I don't think so. No.
Well,
I don't know off the top of my head though.
I don't even care. I love them. Quiet Cannon says Long Beach State's called the Dirtbags in baseball, and they're pretty good at baseball. Well, that's great to know, but what we need them to be is really great at basketball. Really great. Bruno Baller says Long Beach State actually has a lame duck head coach. Why is he a lame? What, are you retiring or what? What's that all about? It's great if he is, because then they're like, let's do it for the lame duck coach. And then now they've got some extra motivation to win this.
Let's do it for Coach Smith.
Whatever is, yeah.
Jonesy.
That
Coach,
guy. That
Skipper.
Dude with the minivan.
Yeah.
He gives us rides sometimes.
Yay.
Yay.
Always has good candy.
Just kind of wish he'd vacuum out the back of that, but it's not weird. Brunswick guy says, Keon, we all know you're going to pick my University of Vermont Catamounts to win the whole thing. It'll be a glorious day when the University of Vermont wins the championship.
Yeah.
Are they actually in this?
We got real bad news for you. I'm not picking them.
Texas or
Vermont?
UVA.
Oh.
No, Vermont's playing Duke.
Where is this?
They're in the South region.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
13 seed.
Oh, there they are, way
Vermont.
down there.
Yeah.
Huh. Funny thing about that,
Vermont?
I picked Duke.
Yeah, no.
But see, that actually worked out because there's two vowels in Duke and there's two vowels in Vermont, but the low letter is the D. That's right. Giving you the D in Duke. So that helped Duke move forward. I didn't have any conflict on that. Sorry, Brunswick guy. It's just not happening. Slow Mo Zo says, I'm wondering if you guys are dubbed in different languages. Let me know if we are, because that'd be great if you hit the SAP button and it's like Quince ochinte el fanatico.
I'd love to hear what I sound like in Japanese.
Konnichiwa. Kiss the Cook says, Pierre, just watch French Pastry 202, for the rest of the month. You'll be fine. Bruno Baller says, Long Beach State actually fired their basketball coach. They're just letting him coach through the tournament.
Is that Long Beach State or was that Howard? I thought that was
that's dumb.
I thought that was somebody else like Howard or somebody like that.
Why would you fire a guy and then let him hang around?
The end of the year, they're going to move in a different direction in the.
No, but you're like, you tell me I'm fired. I'm not like continuing to work.
So
I'm leaving.
They fired this man 5 days ago.
Oh my God.
And my guess is from what I'm understanding, if I'm reading this correctly, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, they did not expect him to get here. Do you
think they'll unfire him?
They won the conference tournament. Now he's here.
That's awkward as hell.
So he's going to coach out to the conference tournament and then right off into the sunset. Well, they won it, so here they are.
Can you unfire the guy?
I don't see why not.
Beach State.
If he doesn't sign the tenure and they rescind it, I mean,
Well, that is a really interesting story. Now I really want them to win for so many reasons. Wow. That's awesome. Lacrosse guy says Vermont's not even good at lacrosse. Yeah, that seems like a place where you should be good at lacrosse.
You should be, yeah. If you're doing
Vermont's
it
a good place for lovers.
Just not lacrosse, it seems.
I don't know if this is one of the things my wife did that really did crack me up. Somebody, I can't remember why, but I got a Vermont is for lovers bumper sticker. It came with something in the mail or something. It said Vermont is for lovers, and she looked at it and she took a marker and went. Now it says Vermont is for losers. That just made me love her more. Anyway, Toby says there's AI that translates shows. It's in the original person's voice. No. Where do you find that? I want a link. I want to hear how I sound doing this show, like in Arabic or Gaelic even, or English. Well, that'd be
Japanese.
I never heard myself do this show in good English. Kier says, I refuse to listen to the Poolers Zone. The host insulted my Montreal Alouettes on the air a few years ago. I have never listened again. We had sweet revenge. Oh. Wow. Yeah. Well, you always got the podcast, pal.
Yeah. I just feel like we have insulted the entire Canadian Football League. And that hasn't shaken your faith in us, which is
because we haven't specifically insulted the Alouettes.
Okay, fair enough. We don't know enough about the Alouettes to insult the Alouettes.
Yeah, the best team in that horrible league. Pinocchio says LB State coach gave U of A coach his first job when he was at Gonzaga.
That's pretty wild, actually. So we've come full circle.
This needs to happen. This needs to happen for 9 different reasons now. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I don't know. We'll probably talk a little bit more about March Madness, but we got a ton of other stuff to talk about. NBA, NFL, you name it. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game, or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-736-6158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-736-6158. That's 800-736-6158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-736-6158. Again, 800-736-6158.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
I'm here to tell you about a technological shocker. Believe it or not, you can listen to us on your smart speaker.
That's shocking.
Wow. What a world we live in. All you have to do is say, listen to 1580 The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and all this March Madness talk is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. It's a mad offer for March Madness basketball. 125% sign-up bonus. Your first 3 deposits plus 10% gambler's insurance. Go to betus.com to be a part of it. Slow-Mo Zoe says Vermont has Ben & Jerry's ice cream. All right, fine. I mean, there's ice cream all over the place. I don't care.
Doesn't every state in the union?
I think we all have ice cream.
I think.
If that's where it came from, okay, great. But I don't eat that much Ben & Jerry's. Do you eat that much Ben & Jerry's?
No,
not really. I mean, I like it. It's ice cream. I'm not too picky about ice cream.
Can't be picky about ice cream. I mean, there is a difference between, say, some name brand stuff and that generic stuff. Maybe they have the store that's all like iced over and crusty. But outside of that, man, just ice cream. Ice cream's good no matter what, man. So let's talk about the Phoenix Suns. And I'm glad that we get a chance to do this without Ralph being up our skirt, because
we have to talk about.
Here's the thing. The Lakers and the Warriors had a ridiculous and embarrassing end of a game the other night. And by the way, the Lakers lost. So, Ralph doesn't have a damn thing to say to us about the Phoenix Suns. But here's the thing that I saw everybody saying, oh, my God, this is the worst loss ever for the Phoenix Suns. 140 points the Milwaukee Bucks put on the Suns, and everybody's like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. But guys, they only won by 11 points. They only beat the Suns by 11 points. Nobody was playing defense. It was like, this is like an old all-star game score, 140 to 129. It was not even overtime. It was just 140 to 129. Nobody was playing defense. And there was some ridiculousness. Milwaukee had 18 3-pointers in the first half, matched the record for 3-pointers in an opening half. And guess what? The Suns and the Jazz were part of that first record. But back to this, so Antetokounmpo was not in the game. But I mean, before we get all bashing on the Suns on this, it was only a loss of 11 by 11. That said, all the stuff that we've been worried about starting to look more worrisome, isn't it?
Kevin Durant had 4 points in the last 2 games in the fourth quarter.
What is that all about?
4 points.
How's he getting shut down in that fourth quarter? Is he tired?
It didn't, I don't know. They just seemed all discombobulated and out of sorts to me. It didn't look like a shutout kind of thing. It was just the ball stopped moving. It stuck with whoever had it. If it was Devin Booker had the ball wasn't moving. If it was Bradley Beal had the ball wasn't really moving. And you hate to see that. That's something that I didn't think would happen with this team, because those guys all have a reputation of being, players who are willing to give up a good shot for a better shot. And they've played like that for most of the year. That's not the team I was watching this weekend, against the Bucks. That was a different group of guys in the way they were playing the game. And I don't think you're winning anything if you play it like that.
So is this a Vogel thing or is this a players thing?
I think it's probably a little of both. I tend to lean players, because it's just a matter of, look, you've got to trust guys to make shots. And I understand that there is a degree of frustration with the way that they've been shooting the ball lately. Wasn't a particularly great shooting night from Kevin Durant. Particularly, it wasn't a very confident shooting night from Kevin Durant. He just didn't take very many shots. And then, 0 for 5 from 3 for Devin Booker. That's just dude, if you're taking 5 threes and you're missing them, and the game before that you were 1 of 6, maybe cool it on the threes a little bit. Get to your bread and butter. That's the mid-range game, and try and beat people there and see what other shots you can create. If they're leaving you open for 3 and you're not making threes, get to the basket and see what defenders you can draw forward, so you can move the basketball around and start getting this defense out of place. But they did not do that.
Well, we're going to need a different idea, because if this is a coaching thing, that would explain a couple of these aspects. One, why are you not playing defense? And 2, why is Kevin Durant disappearing at the end of the game? And, you're right. Some of this would be players, but see, players, here's the thing. Let's say if a player makes 10 mistakes, that's coaching. If a player makes 3 or 4 mistakes, that's player. Yeah. So if they make 10 bad 3-point shots, that's coaching. If they make 3 or 4 bad 3-point shots, that's player. And the way things seem to go with zero defense, you let a team put 140 on you. The coach is not coaching. And I'm sorry. And if you are missing shots, or like you say, the ball's not moving, that's coaching. Now, I'm not saying these players don't deserve some responsibility, but I'm just saying the coaching seems to be a bit more heavily weighted in why the Suns are not winning lately than the players just not playing well. Oh, the shots aren't dropping or this or that. I feel like the coach has always got to be able to adjust a player when they're in a situation, whether it's of their making or if it's a defensive thing from the other team. You got to be able to coach through these situations, and that did not happen.
It didn't. And so, like I said, like there is responsibility that Frank Vogel has to take. I tend to, like when something is wrong on a team like this, I tend to lean more towards the players in the NBA because it is such a superstar driven league. And this team went out of its way to make sure that they had, 2 to 3 of them, depending on how you feel about Bradley Beal.
Well, what makes you think superstars don't want coaching?
It's not that they don't want coaching, but like a lot of the stuff that they need to figure out on the court, the coach is going to say, this is what our philosophy is, and we'll have sets that we run. But like once the kind of foundation is in place, players have just a massive influence on how that actually plays out. And at a certain point, to me, it doesn't matter what you do if you're a coach. There's not much you can do to make guys move the basketball, for instance, if they're not moving the basketball. You can call a timeout and say, hey, we were doing this earlier. We were moving the ball. But those guys actually have to go out there and do it.
Well, I don't know what Vogel did or did not do. And I don't know what the players did or did not listen to. So right now, just as an outsider, kind of smells like coaching first. But then if the coach came out and said, I said this, it just wasn't our night. Okay, I believe it.
I think when where coaching matters in the NBA is more kind of in the margins thing, where like you are coaching a team and the little details. And like this is why Mike Budenholzer is not the coach of the Bucks anymore. Like the guy was like coach of the year at one point. He won them a finals, but the little things, those adjustments that you make, like that's the stuff that you turn to a coach for. But at some point, the players have to play. Like you've got to go out there and if you're turning the ball over a lot, like the coach can't make you not turn the ball over. You have to take care of the basketball. You have to value it as something that you can't just lob over to somebody else. You've got to treat that like that's the most important thing on the floor because it is.
Big George, we know you want to fire Frank Vogel. I'm not even going to read the entirety of what you have to say. You might be right, but that's always your take. Cardinal Art says, honestly, Keon, do you agree that the Suns have no leadership?
No, I don't agree with that. I don't think that that's the case. And maybe I am leaning a little too hard on my experience being a Wizards fan. Like I once watched a very talented Wizards team in my life with Gilbert Arenas and Anton Jameson and all those guys. That team had no leadership. We were talking guns in the locker room. Mm-hmm. We're talking guys falling out over gambling debts to each other, from playing cards. Like I've seen a locker room where there's no leader in it. This team is not that. Now Randy, you may not like the way the leaders act, but it's not a team with no leadership.
Randy, Cardinal Art would like some whiskey, if you could please.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah. Here let me get him a shot of whiskey here. Yeah.
Navy Brad wants us to know that Morehead State is in Minnesota. Wow. That is irony. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't know if you've been to Minnesota. But... All right. We are going to take a break. We got 2 more hours to go. In the next hour, we're going to get some gambling tips from our friend Corby. Then later on in the show, we'll have Keon Rose's March Madness college basketball dance party. We got a bunch of NFL to talk about. We have more NBA, so keep it right here. Or don't. I don't give a crap what you do, to be honest. Just do what you want. But we're going to be here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Whether you're here or not, we'll be here. So yeah. We'd like you to be here.
Yeah.
It's Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
When it's time for the March Mania brackets to bust wide open. As I was saying, it's mad. The Mania of March at BetUS.com is all about those buzzer beat bonus offers. And when the madness starts and Cinderella man steps onto the BetUS always has your back with back-to-back 125% sign-up bonuses on your first 3 deposits and even 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS.com Sportsbook and Casino, where the game join today. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You know, it seems like everybody's talking about the traffic on Valley Roads these days. You know what else everybody's talking about? The absolute best restaurant to take your family and friends to, Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. Now with 2 Valley locations. No one does it better than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is dinnertainment at its best, where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's a perfect choice for any occasion. Choose from over 50 different items and combinations of teppanyaki. Looking for great dining without the show? Kasai offers an awesome selection on Asian-inspired dishes and tasty sushi. Happy hour deals daily from 6 p.m. and enjoy outdoor dining on the heated patio. So whether you're here for spring training, March Madness, or just to enjoy the Arizona sunshine, don't just take your guests to dinner. You take them to Kasai Japanese Steakhouse with 2 locations, Scottsdale and now in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppan.com. That's Kasai Teppan.com or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
This is Joan, enjoying some me time up on the rim. This is Simon and his friends paddling the Salt River. And this is Brad. Brad is, well, no one knows where Brad is. What they all have in common is that they went to azmbdnow.gov to quickly and easily renew their registration or 30 other services. So go to azmbdnow.gov and get more time to enjoy all the things you love.
Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time for what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy Scratchy White. We got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And remember last week we told you about the Missouri Museum that was going to try to break the world record for people wearing underwear on their heads?
On their heads, yes.
They did it. There they are, 355 people with tidy whities on their head. They're supposedly were all clean and provided by the museum. I don't know why my camera won't focus on this. Probably my camera's like, that's too much stupid in one picture.
Yeah.
Please don't ask me to focus. But anyway, so they did it. They got 355. They were shooting for 314, but they actually got 355 people wearing underwear on their heads at the same time. And I see that record now, which was verified by the Guinness World Records adjudicator. And they said, yep, just after 2:30 p.m., it has been broken. So I feel like we could do better. I feel like if we wanted to, if we tried, we could do better.
We could have more people wear underwear on their heads.
Yes.
Now, does it have to be tidy whities?
Well, I mean, that's the best way to see everybody wearing them, unless we got like neon underwear or something like that. But I think the white ones are probably just cheaper.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Like J.C. Penney and just buy up all the tidy whities they have.
Well, that's the thing. First thing you got to do is have about 400 pair of unders to hand people. And once you give them to them and they put them on their head, you don't want them back.
No.
And also they got to be fresh, clean out of the package.
Right out of the package.
Yeah, you can't have somebody wearing the underwear first. That would be gross. Yeah, you're right, Beer Bob. That is how you get pink eye. No, that's why it's got to come out of the package. But I feel like we could do better. I feel like I don't know. Remember, we had like 15,000 people hanging out at concerts for us in the past, and we've had at least 10,000 people hanging around. Remember at the old Roadrunners games to watch a concert.
I feel like we could fill up Veterans Memorial Coliseum.
We just need 1,000 people.
Yeah. And we need to put it over the top. I mean, not just 400 people. We need like 1,000 people. And we need somebody to donate the underwear, new underwear.
Yeah. Well, that's the part where it's going to be tough.
To use. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moist one is out of this one.
Yeah.
Can't imagine what would happen.
The horrors.
I don't know how we do this. I don't know where we do this. I just know we can do this. I don't have all the details.
Maybe like on April Fool's Day.
That's too soon. I can't mobilize something that fast. Not this year.
All right.
I'm just saying, I really do feel like everyone who's listening right now would show up, put underwear in their head. They don't even need a reason. They just do it anyway.
It's too bad we didn't think about this earlier, like last year, and we could have done it on February 4th of 2024, 2424.
Mm-hmm. And had 2,424 people wearing on their heads.
Yeah.
What's up with 2424 anyway?
But it was something.
We don't need a connection thing.
Unique thing.
They wanted it to be 314 day because March 14th, plus also the area code is 314. How about we do 602 people for 602? How about that?
I still feel like 602 is within reach. If we really kick it out of the yard somehow, you see what I'm saying? Like at 1,200 people.
356, I think, is within reach. And not just one person to break the record, but if you break the record, let's break the record. Let's fill, let's go to State Farm and just have
exactly
35,000 people. Let's break it. Let's shatter it. Let's destroy it.
The biggest day of the year would be at State Farm Stadium with 35,000 people with underwear on their head. However, we need a sponsor to buy the underwear or to donate it.
And we need the Cardinals to get involved.
Oh.
And allow us
Fitzgerald out there
to get everybody to put the underwear on their heads. Not everybody will.
Kyler wouldn't be of any help in that one.
Why not?
He's too short.
Well, there's kids can put underwear on their head too.
You think Kyler would come out and put underwear on his head?
No, I don't. But I'm just saying he could. Look at that. You got old people, young people, tall people, short people.
Yeah.
There's nothing that stops you from putting underwear on your head. Charlie Boy, he'd put underwear on his head.
Heck yeah.
I'm thinking he's been in some events and had underwear on his head for absolutely no reason.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's a good idea, pull the plug. He says Goodwill undies.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
No.
And also, I know a lot of people will get some cool deals on some stuff at the Goodwill. Underwear is one that you should never even consider.
Look, there are things you don't need a deal for everything, and there's some deals
crabs
don't need to happen. Yeah, there you go.
And you put these underwear on your head, you get crabs in your eyebrows.
Yeah,
that's gross.
Then you're itching your eyebrows all the time.
Yeah, and then like your eyebrows are moving independently.
Oh yeah,
it's gross. Navy Brad says no skids. That's why they have to be clean and in the package. You got to hand everybody a package of the clean undies.
Skid marks. No drag strips.
That's the thing. How do we get with the Diamondbacks or even the Coyotes? Coyotes, it's a 5,000 seat arena. And if anybody's going to put undies on their head, it'd be hockey fans. They're up for a good time.
I mean, I would think hockey fans of all the hockey fans would do it.
Yeah. Yes. So we get 5,000 pairs of the unders and don't call them panties. But we get 5,000 pairs of the unders. all of them extra large.
Yeah.
So that they'll fit on any size cranium.
Oh, yeah.
Or hairstyle. And we see if we get the Coyotes to let us do this thing. Everybody put on the undies, and there you go. I don't know how the Guinness Book does this, but
we got to get the Guinness Book out there. We've got to get the the hockey players out there. We got to get the Coyotes involved here.
This is beatable. This is doable.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
Even if I only get 1,000 out of the 5,000, we've just done this.
Well, I mean, if you do 1,000, okay, now you have really you put a real mark on yourself there. Somebody has got to.
We probably don't want to say mark on yourself.
Well, that's
skid mark. So
probably bad phrasing. Sorry about that. You have indelibly no, that's not going to work.
Smudged, smeared. Just don't.
Stay
away from those.
You put a target on you. Maybe. No. Anyway, I think this can be done.
I feel like it's doable. I do. I really do. This is something I'm going to take a look at.
Need 1,000 people at least, if not more.
I think we can do 5,000.
Well, Keon's got at least 1,500 friends, so he can get them all out. He can mobilize all.
Yeah, because he's got this new show on Saturday morning at 11 a.m.
Hell, they're calling into the show here.
So he's
telling
got
them they're
a huge
glad
following.
they've got a good show. So he's got an enormous following on Uninterrupted. Keon Rose.
It's not quite a huge following, is it?
Oh,
But
I think
It's without interruption. Keon
Is that
Rose.
what it is? Yeah.
Without interruption.
Without interruption.
Keon Rose. You got to pause because it's
Yeah,
coming.
you got to pause. It's kind of like Murder, She Wrote.
I don't think there was supposed to be a pause in Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
Murder, She Wrote. I think it's supposed to do a little faster.
So Murder, She Wrote.
No, it's not the same.
There's a comma in there somewhere.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of comma. It's not the same kind of comma.
I don't know.
Without interruption. Now I'm introducing him, so it's without interruption. Keon Rose, but she's not introducing Murder, so it's just Murder, She Wrote, or Murder, She Wrote,
Murder.
But it just doesn't have to be as long of a pause, right?
I think it needs to be that kind of pause in there. Without interruption, Keon Rose.
So my son, he was sick over the weekend, and so I got on the text there with him. Yeah, I made him sick. Anyway, so I got on the text with him, and I said, "So here, you want some new shows to try?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, you got to try this one." And I sent him, I texted him, "Look up Murder, She Wrote." And I said, if that doesn't, really appeal to you, there's always Matlock. He's like, "Oh yeah, great, thanks." And he came back. He's like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
He didn't like the Murder, She Wrote, did he?
So then I started texting him sexy pictures of Angela Lansbury and like, "Look at her, she's hot. Why wouldn't you want to?" "That's hot for you now, Dad? What?" So then I sent him some real shows, but anyway, Hefty Lefty says, "I wear a size 8 hat. That translates to 25 inches around. I think the most small size underwear for men is 28 to 30 inch waist. So size medium would fit anyone, but probably Barry Bonds' head." Here, listen, I don't want to take any chances. It's going to be large or extra large.
Well, I think Barry Bonds' head has shrunk since he's got off the steroids.
Does it look like a raisin now? Because it's shriveled because first it was
some
expanded.
Yeah.
For the
Pretty
steroids and then shriveled in.
Oh yeah.
Huh. Beer Bob says, "Why shoot for just 1,000?" Well, I know, man. I'm happy to fill the whole place, 5,000.
Oh, we'd love to have 5,000. I mean, we've got to mobilize the fourth dimension. Everybody's got to tell their friends and their families and their acquaintances, and we've got to get everybody out there to fill up the. When is this happening?
I don't know. When we feel like it. Beer Bob says, "Why shoot for just 1,000? Just do it at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. I'm sure there's at least 100,000 people that would participate." But I think you have to kind of contain them in the same place and make sure they all have it on their head at the same time. If you hand them underwear and they stick it in their head and they wander around, and you can't track them all.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the Waste Management Phoenix Open is the place to do that.
No.
It's not a bad idea though, Beer Bob. Pierre says, "Jeffrey, where is your spirit of innovation we always hear about?"
What?
Oh, he's trying to say you can do it. Just say, he's like, "Do you think whoever wrote or Rocket Balboa gave up on their American dreams? You can arrange it before April Fool's Day. I will participate." I appreciate your support, Pierre, but yeah, it just
He'd have to fly in.
And you
I
can't-
know
you
you're a
can't-
new listener to this radio station. We have a lot of great ideas, but like zero support making them happen. So, yeah,
What about setting a new world record that nobody's done before?
that would be this. Oh, you mean
not just?
okay. So 5 people doing something.
No, not just 1,000 people with underwear on their head. 1,000 people with underwear on their head taking a shot of whiskey.
You're just gonna add taking a shot of whiskey?
See, you're breaking you're breaking one record, okay,
Mhm.
and setting a new record, and then you're establishing a new world record.
Doesn't this exclude children?
Well, I didn't want children involved with this anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because look at that. The children are dumb. Look at that.
Yeah, it's just it pads
this kid in particular.
It pads the stats though, because you got one parent here. They bring 2 kids.
Can I just
That's
tell you how
3
dumb
people.
kids are? This camera won't even focus in on them as actual human beings. It doesn't
Kinda
want to.
just kills the whole whiskey
Yeah,
idea,
well,
doesn't
It just keeps choosing that guy in the middle for whatever reason.
Hey, I'll give kids whiskey. I don't even care. 888
We know.
368
That's-
1580.
We know that's that's the problem.
Chief Skull says, I think elastic waist is in order, of course. Hamilton
yeah.
Porter says, give up. Did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Of course not. Beer Bob says, so tidy whitey, but where does the Daily Blender logo go? Front side, back side? Nah, we don't need the logo on there. We're not doing this for ego. We're just doing this for fun. Beer Claw says, can you imagine how cool it would look when everyone wears underwear on their head and then they do the wave? I would imagine that would be another thing like what Randy says. Record number of people with underwear on their head doing a thing.
See, that's a whole new record you're setting.
Set all sorts of records doing this. Pineapple Express says, guys, Angela Lansbury was hot back in the day. Oh, the pictures I was sending him were not from back in the day. I know you're going to say she was at one time a pinup girl. Oh, let's see here. Hold on. All right, where's my son? There it is. I'm going to send you the picture. Here, I'm going to show you the picture that I sent my son when I was trying to get him to watch it. Here it is.
Is it her from the show at least?
Look
Or
at
did
that.
you send him a picture? Okay, it's
Look
from
at
at
that
least
hot
the
piece
show.
of ass right there. Yeah.
That's from at least the show, as opposed to because here I was imagining you sending him a picture of a 96-year-old Angela Lansbury.
Murder.
And
she wrote.
Huh.
My camera won't focus on anything today. There we go. Oh, no, that's just how old she is. Never mind. 888-368-1580. Pinocchio says, Randy, do we drink through our through the dink hole?
You don't have to cover your face.
Now, wait a minute.
Put
now.
a straw through the flat.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Is that what you call it? The dink hole?
The dink hole.
You're not a superhero fighting crime with underwear on your head. It doesn't have to go all the way over your face, just on your head.
Well, see, then you'd have record number of people with underwear in their head drinking from the dink hole. I like that. Bruno Baller says, if everyone has underwear on their head takes a shot of whiskey, would all participants have to be at least 21? Well,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Why would that not be the case?
Yes.
Well, we're just trying to flush these ideas out, but more probably realistically, at a Coyotes game with the crowd who are in attendance.
Oh, the hell with the game. We just go there to the arena one Saturday, some random Saturday, and we get everybody together. And somebody's got to be the photographer.
They won't let us in.
And what do you mean?
How they're not
If
going
we
to let
do
us
this
in?
conjunction with the Coyotes.
Yeah, I don't think they're
will.
going to care about this.
What?
I don't think they're going to care about this. If we can get them to care about it, then that'd be great. But I don't know. Somebody's
And
going to have to schmooze these people over.
Some NHL team is going to steal your idea and they're going to do it in their actual NHL stadium.
Oh, bastards.
And then you'll be right back at square one.
But I'll be all right with that.
Okay.
I would be okay if the Arizona Coyotes stole this idea and had underwear on your head night to set the record. I'd feel proud because we presented the idea.
Somebody from the Coyotes is listening right now. They're going to do that.
I know somebody's husband is. Do you guys remember who that was? Who is that? Who's
one of the Canadians? I don't. We've had too many Canadians since then, so it's no longer special to be a Canadian on the text line because you're one of 17 people.
A lot of the Canadians have sort of kind of popped in and out of existence.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if they're listening. But if you're listening,
Canadians,
well, and you're the one who's now new in town because your wife works for the Coyotes.
Yeah.
We need to have a conversation. We need to see about what it would take to make this happen. Because records are meant to be broken. And we're just the people to do it.
You bring a can of food for the Salvation Army food bank to participate.
Yeah, imagine that. We would give thousands of pairs of underwear and a couple of cans of food.
But not just a couple. I mean, thousands of cans. I mean,
you want everybody to have to
everybody who wants to participate has to bring, some canned goods or a can of, something, and not cannabis either. But a can like beans and stuff. You bring that for the Salvation Army. You see what I mean? Then you get your underwear, and then we take all the underwear, and then we donate that too.
Yeah, the whole thing all together. You're right. Absolutely right.
Saying?
So here's the thing, and I've done clothing drives where we filled up an entire van with clothing, and I've done food drives where you do all. Can we put another rule on a food drive? It's got to be food somebody would actually want. Because I know some of you cheap sons of bitches go into your cupboard. You're like, I'll never eat beets. And they go in there. And then like some poor kids in there.
Sardines.
Oh boy, beets again. This is great. Okay, let's just make sure it's actually food somebody wants to eat.
I think that's
what
fair.
about if we designate it like a peanut butter and jelly?
What?
See what I'm saying? Everybody's got to bring either a peanut butter or a jelly.
You can't. Oh, okay. You're gonna bring just homemade peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
No,
you can't do that. Jar of peanut butter, jar of jelly,
or a jar of jelly.
Well, that's not cans; those are jars.
Well, but I'm still.
And then there's glass involved if it's the jar of. There are some logistics we need to work out.
I'll have to have a meeting on this, I guess.
I like your idea, but we gotta be careful. Anyway, we have to take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna have to pause this conversation for just a little bit. I know a lot of you are suddenly popping up with some ideas and thoughts on the idea, but Corby Craig is going to join us from BetUS, and we're gonna get some advice from him on betting the NCAA March Madness tournament. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Head over to Hulu this March, where our new shows and movies will keep you streaming all month long. Catch the award-winning movie Poor Things, starring Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, and Willem Dafoe. Check out the new documentary, Freaknik, The Wildest Party Never Told, about the iconic Atlanta street party. And don't miss FX's Shogun, a reimagining of the epic tale, starring Anna Sawai. So, what are you waiting for? Go stream something new on Hulu.
Hey, Ralph, got another solar question for you.
Okay, but did you check out the Harman Solar podcast first?
The what?
The Harman Solar podcast. We put new episodes up twice a month that teach you all the things you ever wanted to learn about solar. We discuss things like how solar works, the roofing, sales process, demand management, everything solar.
Show like this needs some real smart thinkers, huh?
Well, yeah.
So you got some really great guests then, huh?
Almost every show.
Is it on Spotify?
Yep.
iTunes?
Yep. Just search it everywhere. It's the Harman Solar podcast. Go check it out at harmansolar.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and joining us right now is Corby Craig from BetUS. We're going to get some advice on betting the March Madness NCAA tournament. Heard here on 1580 The Fanatic. Hey, Corby, how you doing, man?
Pretty good, guys. We finally got a bracket, so can't complain. How are you?
Yeah, so about that bracket, we're doing great, and we've pretty much got most of our brackets filled out for our big contest we got going here. You can win $1,580 if you have the best bracket. So a lot of people are going to be very interested to hear what you have to say about all this bracketology. So let's talk about what matters to us first. You see, GCU got in there, not as a 16, but hold on a second.
Excuse me,
Randy, turn off your computer.
Sorry.
GCU got in there not as a 16, but as a 12. So GCU versus St. Mary's. And of course, we'll get your feelings on that when you tell us how you would bet that.
Yeah, of course. It's interesting. St. Mary's is a tough matchup. Grand Canyon has all the pieces to beat St. Mary's. Am I saying that they will? I'm not sure, but it would not surprise me to be a very popular sleeper pick. Grand Canyon, I mean, you guys have got to see all year. They have the talent. My worry is, are they a little too high on the market because of their home court advantage? It's such a cool place, such a great place to play. I would lean towards probably yes, and St. Mary's gets it done, which is not the craziest thing to think of the world, but inevitably, I do think both of them, if Grand Canyon gets by, has a really good shot with Bama. I don't think this is a Bama team of years past.
Oh, really?
And, St. Mary's or Grand Canyon, I feel, has at least a coin flip versus Alabama here.
All right, well, that's very, very interesting. Now, we hate the people down in Tucson, and we are looking for any hope, any chance that Long Beach, what's the SU stand for? State University? Long Beach
That's
isn't
right.
a state, but whatever. Long Beach, LBSU, please tell us that they're going to upset Arizona.
So I can't get there with that, but I do have an upset in the future coming. But an interesting thing about Long Beach is, y'all might know, but Long Beach
Corby,
they
Corby,
actually fired their coach.
Corby,
And
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Corby. Can you go ahead and whatever you're doing, just do what you did last time and talk to us through the phone, please?
Yeah, I am on speaker, so you should be able to hear. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, as soon as you just talk on the regular phone there, we can hear you better. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead and pick up where you were there.
Yeah, so I don't think that Long Beach can beat them. A funny story about Long Beach is they actually fired their coach. He is still coaching and won them their conference so they get in. But they're without a coach. He is coaching, but he is fired.
So are they going to rehire him, or what's the story here?
I think that he's just I think he's done. He's looking for a new job, and he just wanted to show off that he's still a good coach, and yet they still fired him. So he ended up winning their conference championship, and they get to go to March. But yeah, they don't have a quote-unquote head coach, so I don't think they're going to be able to beat Arizona. But the team that we talked about the last time I was on the show, the Baylor Bears, have a chance to see Arizona in the Sweet 16, and I took my Baylor Bears to beat Arizona and end up in that Elite Eight in that category.
You know, actually, I have my own technique, which is silly. I'm just taking every team with the fewest vowels to win. Okay. And with that technique, in the end, I've got Baylor winning the whole damn thing.
I love that.
So that's a fun way of doing it. But of course, Keon and Randy, they've used their actual craniums in some of their picks and stuff. But so do you have any interesting techniques, anything like if this, then this that you do that maybe some people don't?
I'll give you a few small ones. So like the play-in games, 7-10, usually one of these play-ins is going to win. So like Colorado or Boise State will be playing Florida. I will toss a play-in game win. I gave Colorado the win there over Florida. Happens much more frequently than people would think. Colorado's actually probably going to be a favorite in that game as a 10 seed. So just some spots that look like they're bad spots, and yet they're not. Like another one being this Texas game, Texas versus TBA. I think Texas is a really good basketball team, and they're going to run into a Virginia who, if we've all watched Virginia, they kind of stink. So Texas gets kind of a bye to the Sweet 16 or to the round of 32 where they'll play Tennessee. So you think that Texas can beat Tennessee? I like the Longhorns to go pretty far in the tournament.
Oh, wow. It's funny because our own Texas Longhorns fan and a Longhorns fan who listens are both like, no, they're going out first round. They just don't have the confidence. I think they've, show us on the puppet where you've been hurt, Keon,
Well, it's not that I think they're going out in the first round. I have to think about it some, though, because they do have a tendency to choke in games late. That's what I've seen this season.
It is very true. The issue is I think that they have enough skill and ability to stop Tennessee. Also, you're running into it. They do have the ability to choke late, but if you want a fun Sunday stat, just go check Rick Barnes's March Madness record. He is not a very good coach when it comes to the late season. His ATS, I believe, is below 20%. So he finds a way to make these good teams not play very good in March.
When he was coaching at Texas, we called him first round Rick.
Yeah. You got a first witness of it.
That's not a good nickname to have. Not at all. Hey, Corby, we got Brunswick guy on the text line says, I was wondering if you think University of Vermont Catamounts could upset Duke in the first round. I'm asking for myself.
I don't personally. This isn't the Vermont team of years past that we're used to seeing able to speed up and throw some wrenches at teams. This is a pretty slow Vermont team who really only has like 2 or 3 scores. So I think inevitably Duke has, as much as it's easy to not like, they are the better team by a good factor here.
So that was very nice of you to be nice to Brunswick guy. He is Canadian, and that was as polite as you could be with that question. So thank you, Corby. Hey, Corby, what is your pick to go all the way? Who do you have winning the whole dang thing?
Yeah, I took the Houston Cougars. I think Houston has a pretty easy walk there. They'll see Duke, who we just talked about, a pretty soft team. And, if you've watched Houston, they're the opposite of soft. So I think they run into even their hard games being good matchups. And I have Houston facing UConn in the finals. UConn, a really talented team, but at the end of the day, I took the Houston Cougars to win it all.
So, it's interesting that, you're all about Houston for the tournament, but if you're ever in Scottsdale, you want to avoid the Cougars. Always avoid them when you're out and about. Trust us on this. 888-368-1580. Aiton's Army is on the text line, and he says, we'll talk about that. I'm sorry, I thought that you had Aiton's Army is also a college basketball fan, but he wants to talk NBA. So moving on. I'll get back with you, Aiton's Army, because yes, we do have that story a little bit later on. So, all right. So who in this entirety of things, as you take a look at the South and the East and the Midwest and the West and all this mess that we have here for March Madness on the bracket. All right. So do you have an unexpected fraud in the mix where you're like, oh, they're ranked pretty high, but boy, you should stay away from them?
Yeah. I would run into Clemson at 6. I think Clemson, there's a lot of people that are talking about how bad this tournament was selected from a number standpoint. Clemson getting a 6 makes no sense. Like, you see even the closest comparable being Florida at 7. Florida went to their SEC championship. They played a good year all year. They beat good teams on the road. What did Clemson do? They really only beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa in a game that the ESPN announcer said that was embarrassingly quiet from a student body standpoint. So I'm not buying Clemson at 6. I think that they pretty easily can get beat by New Mexico, the 11 in round 1.
Oh, really? I thought maybe you at least would give them getting by New Mexico and getting taken down by Baylor, but you don't think that they're going to get past the first game.
Yeah, I think New Mexico is kind of the exact opposite situation. They are an 11 seed who I think should have been the 8 over Florida Atlantic. I don't know if Florida Atlantic really proved anything other than they have a cool name that did pretty good last year, but they didn't play great basketball for most of the year. So I think this is an 8 seed New Mexico and probably closer to an 8 or 9 Clemson. So you're looking at an 8-9 game, which is basically pick 'em, and I would take New Mexico in that matchup.
So when you see it this way, is Vegas seeing it the same way as you're seeing it? Or, I mean, do they always go by the rankings and set the odds that way? Or how do you guys all figure this out?
No, I would say that my mind is more directed the same as Vegas. So they see these matchups that are just really bad numbers. And an example, Drake as a 10 seed is a favorite in that matchup. So you look at Washington State, you would think that Washington State should win that game as a 7. They're an underdog in that game. So Drake is the favorite in the 10-7. And it's more of just an embarrassment by who made the lines. Like, we have so many analytics in just this modern day and age that there's no reason to be messing these up. And yet this is the bracket that we got. There's some really good teams that got left out, some really bad teams that are in, and a team like Boise State, who should never have to fight for their will to get into the round of 64, have a play-in game to play Florida, which is crazy to think about. But here we are, and it opens up some value in the betting markets for sure.
Hamilton Porter says, if you had to pick one, which one seed is most likely to lose?
It's a good question. Do you mean in the first round? If you mean the first round, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I just don't see one happening. Maybe in North Carolina. I can't give you any fun there. I will kind of revert your question with a different one, and it would be if we could do a 2 seed in round 1. I think there is a live chance, and you're going to hear this first, and I haven't heard this anywhere else on the radio, but I think there's a very live chance that number 2 Marquette loses to number 15 Western Kentucky. If you've watched Western Kentucky, they are a very good basketball team. They are a 15 seed due to who they play, but they are a fast team. Marquette has been without their best player, their point guard, their brain of their operations. And though he will be back, it's hard to play basketball after sitting out for 3 weeks. So this is just a speed differential. I don't know if Marquette will be ready to run with Western Kentucky. Is it going to happen? Everyone in the world would tell you no, and I would probably tell you no too. But if you wanted just some one-off shot asking for a 1, I have no 1, but in the 2 spot, I do think Marquette could lose.
All right. So you got any good bets for us? You got any little tidbits? Anything we could look at and go, tasty?
Of course. I got you one in my alma mater. The UAB Blazers play San Diego State in Spokane, Washington, which I couldn't point it out on a map if I had to. But UAB just won their conference tournament in Texas. They traveled back to Birmingham yesterday, so they'll be here today, tomorrow, and then they fly back out to Washington in a really tough spot. A lot of travel for a team that they've never seen. They haven't played in March Madness, this lineup, other than a couple players. I just think it's a really bad spot to assume that there's going to be points. So I bet the under in the UAB San Diego State team, 138.5, I believe, to the under. I just don't know that UAB is up for the test. Also, this is a really athletic UAB team. If you watch them play, their center almost dunked from the free throw line in the championship game versus Temple. They have the athletes. They can guard on defense. I just don't know if they can score. So took the under there. Really hoping my Blazers win, but not too excited for them to play.
All right, let me ask you, with the March Madness, is that a moneymaker for you? Is this something you look forward to and you hit with a high percentage of your pile, or is this something that you just kind of plink at?
Yeah, from a betting game-to-game perspective, I don't really bet it a ton. This is the most efficient, technically, a market would be. Just they've seen so many games and they know exactly what to expect. But I will say that it is a money pile if done correctly. So everyone in the whole world wants to do March Madness brackets, and none of these people know betting lines, betting markets. They haven't watched basketball. They just know March Madness. We need to make a bracket. We need to get into a pool. And if you can pick off those one-off pools of like 10, 20, 30 people who don't know what they're doing, and I have been watching it since day one, or I know how to read betting markets, I have a very good advantage or edge over them. So I do find a lot of value in actual bracket creation, but not betting on a game-to-game basis.
All right. So, yeah, so I guess with your pile, essentially that's your way you look at it. One of the things I was curious, I didn't want to be too nosy. I was just kind of curious how much money you're putting in, or if you don't want to say how much money, what percentage of your pile would you be working with?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because it's all relative. It's really hard to get a lot of money down on these. Like if you're trying to put your bracket, everyone does $25, $50 office pools. So I will click as many of those as I can. I'll reach out to every family member that works an office job and try to get their office pool. But I would say usually it's close to 3% of total bankroll. just hoping to click as many $25, $50 one-off offers pools. Living in Alabama, I know every single person is going to choose Alabama to win the championship. So inevitably, when Alabama loses, I'm in first place, and it becomes a very lucrative operation if done correctly.
That is Corby Craig from BetUS. Thanks so much for being with us and giving us something to think about. Anything you want to leave us with before you go?
Yeah, just have fun. If you I would say no game theory. So if you want to make these brackets and you're having a good time and you're in a small pool, don't take any risks. Don't choose a 16 seed to win a one seed game. It's not going to happen very likely. And in a small bracket, you don't need that. If you're in those massive 10,000 brackets, you're going to need some upsets. You're going to need to differentiate yourself and have some fun. It's the greatest single sporting moment of the year. And March is that. So we'll be here through the end of March, and I'm excited to watch and hopefully the Baylor Bears can beat the Arizona team that you guys hate so much, and maybe your Grand Canyon team will make some runs.
I appreciate that, Corby, and we'll talk to you next week. I'd love to talk to you sooner, but we've got the broadcast all week long, starting tomorrow, straight through Sunday. 1580 The Fanatic is your home for March Madness here in the Valley. But listen, Corby Craig filling us in on some tidbits and some thought processes. That's brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. Mad offer for March Mania basketball. 125% sign-up bonus for your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. Check it out at betus.com. And good luck to you, Corby. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more of the Daily Blender after this. You're on 1580 The Fanatic.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy happiness, but money did buy your boat, where you find peace fishing, unlike at home with 3 teenage daughters. Because fish never argue about who stole whose crop top, or get mad the other fish used up all the hot water. No, they just swim around, never embarrassed to be seen with you in public. So save money by bundling your boat or RV insurance with home or auto from Progressive. And buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Do you need equipment for your business but don't have the cash? I can help. I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital, and we offer no money down financing on new and used equipment. Excavators, forklifts, dozers, tractors, cranes, plows, and more. If it's essential to your business, I will help you get the money you need. It's faster and easier than asking your banker. Call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. That's 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
My kind of guy is all class. He brings the finest wines for me to taste. He wears the hottest suits, and he lets me take off his tie. He's respectful, but he's not afraid to explore his wild side. And when he's not with me, I know I'm still on his mind.
She's waiting for you at the Valley's hottest adult cabaret, Platinum Plus on 32nd Street, just south of the 202. VIP bottle service and rooms, full kitchen, open daily till 3 a.m. Platinum Plus.
Do you know about 211 Arizona? It's a free service to connect you with resources anywhere in Arizona. Housing assistance and eviction prevention, transportation and ride services, healthcare benefits, food resources, and even utility bill support. Talk to a live operator in English or Spanish, 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Just dial 211 or visit 211arizona.org. Get connected, get answers, and get the help you need. This message is sponsored by 211 Arizona.
We know how it goes. You can't always tune in and hear your favorite shows and hosts.
Dude, look, I'm a loser. Okay?
It's cool, bro. That's why we post podcasts of your favorite shows and hosts. Listen when you want to. Listen on demand.
That is great and frankly kind of amazing.
Go to 1580thefanatic.com to download.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right. Everybody's signed up in the bracket, right? Everybody went to the Harman Solar 1580 The Fanatic Bracket Challenge on the CBS Sports platform. Everybody's ready to go. You can win $1,580 from our friends at Harman Solar. You can win a $500 gift card at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. And you notice how I didn't offer Corby to join? I feel like that wouldn't be fair to anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. At first, I was like, "Hey, you should come join." And he starts talking about how he cleans up on everybody else's brackets, and I'm like,
Okay, well then
I think I'll just keep that to myself.
Save some of that money for the fourth dimension.
That's right. Anyhow, make sure you get that done. 1580thefanatic.com. Over on the right side, you'll see the link for all that stuff. And good luck to everybody. Well, most everybody, not you, Donnie. 888-368-1580.
What did Donnie text in?
No, I just, it's just he's so aggravating. And I love that he's aggravating other shows now, too, not just ours.
Really?
He just goes in there and says, so-and-so says this. And then they're like, the hell I did. And that's how he gets attention. He does that to me. And I'm like, the hell I said that. And then I realize, he's just trolling. He's just trolling. And but yeah, I don't want him to have nice things. Anyway, Ralph has crabs, says, hey, somebody saying crabs. I'm here. I had crabs all over my body before, in private areas, on the face, on the feet, everywhere when I was out crab fishing last season in Alaska.
He had me in the first half.
Yeah,
I thought that was going a very different direction.
Wow.
What do you mean on your face? Like as a crab
asking questions.
Fisherman.
What? Stop asking questions. No, don't ask.
Better left unsaid.
Yeah, we don't want any more questions, Kim.
All right. I rescind my question.
Yeah. Slow Mo Zoe says, instead of bobblehead day, make it underwear day for like Chase Field. Yeah. I mean, that's a great idea if everybody can get on board with it. But here's a call. Hi, it's Jeffrey O'Brien from 1580 Fanatic. Oh, how you doing? Hey, listen, I want to do a special promotion. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. We're listening. I want to have put underwear on your head. Hello? Yeah, I think they hung up. That's it. That's as fast as that conversation would go. But I feel like the hockey people.
Maybe.
There's a chance there. Beer Bob says, don't think it's going to be the Coyotes stealing your idea. You got those uncanny Canadians listening to you. Oh, these Canadians would do this in a heartbeat. Canadians see the fun in this. Or they'd probably be plaid underwear.
You think plaid?
Flannel undies.
That's good. That's a good point. I thought maybe long johns.
So that's
a good point, though.
Too much. There's too much material. Bruno Baller says maybe you get Fruit of the Loom or Hanes to sponsor the event and contribute the underwear for free.
And there you go.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I could call them up and say, hey, give us all your irregulars. Give us all like as many irregulars as you can that we can use for this. And then they'd be like, oh, tax write-off. Boom, done. It's not a bad idea, Bruno Baller. Big George says, I have a sneaking suspicion, brother, that Corby's former name was the Siege. No. His phone, even his phone when it's bad, is a million times better than that.
Yeah, you can still understand him. I mean, the difference between Corby and the Siege is, he could sound clearer, Corby, versus the Siege, who it sounds like he's talking to you from the back of his
submarine.
Look, man, I don't understand.
Submarine about 900 feet below the sea level.
And it's just, why would he do that? I don't understand, but it's his phone. What do you do?
Against the Spread says GCU is going to get bulldozed by St. Mary's. People have no idea how good the Gales are because nobody stays up late enough to watch them. St. Mary's will cover the 5 points, no problem. That's not what we want to hear.
We're trying to pick this with our hearts here.
Yeah,
look, I understand
respect for the call, but geez, man.
And look, I got plenty of respect for St. Mary's. That's why I made a point of saying it's if GCU beats them, it's going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah,
but I'm also giving them a chance, and sounded like Corby did too. GCU's got talent, and they've got weapons, man.
Donnie on the text line says, "Can't wait till Jeffrey emails me my Kasai gift card." Well, that's second place. What makes you think you will specifically get second place out of everybody? Like, you're very weird. Against the Spread says Drake is another team to watch out for. They would relish an opportunity to play Iowa State in the second round, and they could make a run to the Sweet 16. By the way, I just don't ever want Drake to win.
not even the school.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
After
want
a
the, I don't
completely
want the
different
singer
guy.
doing anything. I don't want the school doing anything.
Getting past Iowa State. I mean, I listen. Drake is good, but getting past Iowa State, all that.
I mean, Iowa State. Did you see what Iowa State did to Houston in that conference title game? It beat them by 28 points. That's a number 1 seed, Houston. I don't know, man.
Brunswick guy says, "Oh yeah, we totally wear some underwear on our heads for a world record. Should I organize this here in Canada? No, you Canadian sons of bitches. This is an American idea right now. If we never get around to it, then maybe. But right now, just give me a minute to try to steal our American thunder with stealing our ideas." Wilbur says, "I have a dark horse team, but I'm not going to give it to you because then you'll share it with all the listeners and they'll all benefit from it." Let me guess, you Arizona? Nobody wants that. Hurry Harry says, filling out the bracket, thoughts on Washington State? Okay, well, there's a thing. And what I'll appreciate about them is that Washington is actually a state. So when you call a school Washington State, it checks out. Beyond that, I now turn it over to Keon for more in-depth anal analysis.
Yeah, Washington State is a really good team. I'm not sure where I'm going with them yet between them and Drake, who we just talked about. But I will say that Washington State's an incredibly well-rounded team, and when you have 3 guys averaging 15 points a game, that's really nice. It means, because what we see a lot happens in college basketball is a team will show up, they'll have a great player, that guy's awesome, he's been dominant all year, and then they get taken out of the game, and a higher seed that normally could win games, they lose. And with Washington State, there isn't one guy that you can point to and say, all right, we're gonna take him away. Whereas with Drake's got Tucker DeVries. He's a really good player, really good scorer, averages 21.8 a game. But you take him away from the game, and Drake finds a little bit more difficulty scoring the basketball. So Washington State has a really good shot. That's where I'm leaning right now. So yeah, go with the Cougars.
I'm a little confused. I just got a text message on my actual telephone here from Ralph saying, "So I did the bracket like we agreed, and UAB wins it all over Western Kentucky. This is BS. How do you have?" I said, "Didn't you do the most fouls? I did the least fouls. How do you have?"
It sounds like you
UAB?
you didn't actually agree on what you thought you agreed on, and that you both did the fewest vowels.
Okay, I'm gonna have to call him.
University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Oh, I mean, if he
That's
used
UAB.
all the letters in every part of the UAB, then maybe.
UAB. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. So you could have done it that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a conversation.
You got to make sure though, because you were kind of fudging it a little bit. I don't know if he did any of the similar things.
No, I'm gonna make good. I'm gonna do another bracket. I'm gonna go exactly by the rules. I just need to make sure we're on the same page. He does the most fouls. I do the least fouls. That's the way this is supposed to go. But I guess you're right. UAB with stretched out
with the Alabama Birmingham. Yeah, that gets you. that will get you quite a few fouls.
So I think what we should do, and I'm going to talk to Ralph about this, it should be whatever is listed on the bracket. So if on the bracket it says TCU, then it's TCU. You know what I'm saying? It's the shortest. You don't say the entire thing for TCU, right? And then if it says Utah ST, then you don't add in the state vowels, right? I think that's how we should do this. That is how this it should all be sorted out. But I'll call him after the show.
Oh boy!
But I realized that when I was doing my bracket, I was like, "Nah." He said he wanted to go exact, so I'll make another one that's exact. Anyway, let's see. Big George says, "Here in Phoenix, Donnie." Oh, brother! Here now. This is going to start something. This is going to start something on Twitter, isn't it? We shoot for championships. I'm gunning for the top spot on this year's bracket challenge. Randy and I are partnering up to tackle the bracket. Is that true?
What?
Yeah, you only get to do your bracket, and Randy does his bracket, George.
What? I mean, I'll be glad to give you insights, Big George. I'm not the college basketball expert here.
Fish Tank says, isn't every horse a dark horse? Not the white horse or the light brown horse.
Mm.
He goes, no. For Mr. Wilbur, isn't every horse a dark horse?
I'm not going to lie to you. That's the first thought I had. And then you didn't say that. And I was like, oh, growth, actually. We
didn't even think about it there. I was more
I felt bad that I was the one that thought about it.
I was just more annoyed at them than anything. Slow-Mo Zoe says, what's your take on Illinois? That's where Lincoln was born, and that's where Chicago is, so probably a good place to get murdered. Beyond that, here's Keon Rose with some expert analysis.
Well, they are playing Moorhead State, so I'm a little conflicted, naturally.
Yes, go Moorhead.
I
don't know if they're get past. I don't know.
But
nothing beats Moorhead.
It's
name a thing. It beats Moorhead. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Moorhead State has a guy named Riley Minix who is a tremendous scorer, man. I think
from Moorhead,
and I do think that if the Illini get out slow, that there is a good chance that they're going to end up in a dogfight of a game. But beyond that, if they can move past that, I like their chances. I'm very non-committal right now because I haven't chosen a whole lot of things on my bracket. But like there are some teams that I already have looked at them and I'm like, yeah, no, you guys have no chance. Illinois, not one of those teams.
Bruno Baller says, wouldn't it be exciting if GCU ended up facing Arizona in the Elite Eight for a trip to the Final Four? I think that's the only possible matchup in the West region for those teams. You are correct. Yeah, you're right. Because GCU's got St. Mary's, and then they would go on to take on likely Alabama. And then like Corby said, if GCU gets to Bama, they'll probably beat Bama and then end up there. Now, you got to go down to Arizona. They're getting beat by Long Beach State, so that's the end of that. There's no way they're going to make it. And if they get past them by some chance, I don't think Dayton is going to go well for them. And then after that, they might come across Baylor, who will beat the living daylights out of them.
The Baylor part of that bracket, if I'm Arizona and a fan of that team, that's the part that I'm worried about because Baylor is damn good.
Oh, man, God. Wouldn't it be amazing? Arizona versus GCU, and GCU prevails. I mean, Arizona just have to shut down their basketball program for a few years.
We'll see you guys in 2026.
Yeah, we need a moment. We need some time to ourselves. We need to maybe our players need to see other sports for a little bit before we can come back. That would be great. I like your thinking there, Bruno Baller. Ralph has crabs says, sorry, Ralph. Not only do you have crabs, but you have a crummy bracket. Maybe pick Purdue to win it all. Well, Ralph has crabs. It's not that Ralph has a bad bracket. He decided just to join me. He's going to try team with the most fouls wins. And mine is team with the least fouls. There's absolutely no skill or any sort of analysis on this. We're just seeing what happens. So, you don't got to insult Ralph's bracket, Mr. Wilbur says, are we done talking about Moorhead State? I'd really like to know some of their cheerleaders. No, Wilbur, I've met you. You don't need to be anywhere near those cheerleaders. Against the Spread says March Madness is about conference strengths. Fade the Pac-12. Fade the Mountain West. Fade the Big Ten, except for Illinois. Fade the ACC too. Buy the Big 12. Buy the Big East. Buy the WCC. Buy the MVC. And buy the SEC. Says against the Spread. That was only like advice that Keon can take. No one else is going to be able to take that advice. Nobody else is doing this deep of analysis.
That's fair, but just in terms of a general how to bet, I think that anybody can follow that. You know, it's just, hey, if this team is from any of these conferences, Pac-12, ACC, definitely the Big Ten. Oh my God, the Big Ten was awful to watch this year. But you fall inside the SEC, Big 12, you can generally bet those teams live.
We have a bet it is texter on texter crime. Are you ready for this? Donnie now says, I'll bet Big George a month's supply of diapers that I will crush him in the standings.
You got to
Crush.
define crush. You got to be more
And-
specific than that.
And also, please keep in mind that Big George has a giant baby who takes giant craps. So but we'll see if George will agree to this bet and the definition of what crush is. We'll be back with more of the Daily Blender after this here on 1580 The Fanatic. Hour 3 is next.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Need a boost in capital or a flexible line of credit for your growing business? Hi, I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital. I can help you get the money you need fast. The process is a breeze with a simple application and same-day approvals. No more waiting, no more hassle. Just a straightforward path to securing the funds you need faster and easier than asking your banker. So call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. That's 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
You know, it seems like everybody's talking about the traffic on Valley Roads these days. You know what else everybody's talking about? The absolute best restaurant to take your family and friends to, Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. Now with 2 Valley locations. No one does it better than Kasai, where talented Teppanyaki chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is dinnertainment at its best, where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's a perfect choice for any occasion. Choose from over 50 different items and combinations of teppanyaki. Looking for great dining without the show? Kasai offers an awesome selection on Asian-inspired dishes and tasty sushi. Happy hour deals daily from 6 p.m. and enjoy outdoor dining on the heated patio. So whether you're here for spring training, March Madness, or just to enjoy the Arizona sunshine, don't just take your guests to dinner. You take them to Kasai Japanese Steakhouse with 2 locations, Scottsdale and now in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppin.com. That's Kasai Teppin.com or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
Don't let biased algorithms or degree screens or exclusive professional networks or stereotypes. Don't let anything keep you from discovering the half of the workforce who are stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time to tear the paper ceiling and see the stars beyond it. Find out how you can make stars part of your talent strategy at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
Quiet, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
No, you're live.
No, you're live.
No, Dion's live.
He's barely live.
But we can rebuild him. We can make him better than he was before.
We're going to have to take out one of your eyes.
Oh, no.
Pick an eye.
I have to remove both your legs as well.
Yeah. Was it both? Really? It was,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Yeah,
both
that's
his
why you're so
legs,
fat. One arm, though, right?
Yeah, I think it was one arm.
Oh,
All right.
my knees are awful, so that's not too bad.
You're going to end up. You're going to end up better than Anakin Skywalker. He
Mhm.
lost his arms and his legs.
Yeah.
You are only going to lose your legs and one arm and an eyeball.
The eye,
One
the eye I
eyeball.
can't give up. I can't give up the eye.
You're gonna want this this new eye, this bionic eye. No,
You
no,
can see
no,
very
no,
far
no,
away.
no, no, no,
It's
no,
true.
no, no.
Oh, and your best friend's name is going to be Oscar. I don't know anybody named Oscar. Why don't I have a friend named Oscar? Well, that's going to be one. I don't think I've ever had a friend named Oscar.
My in-laws back in the day, they had a dog named Oscar.
That's not the same thing. I want to know a guy named Oscar.
A guy named Oscar Goldman.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be Goldman.
No, no,
I'll
no,
settle for
no.
just Oscar.
No, 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 no.
Why
no,
don't I know
no.
a guy named this? Now that bothers me. I wish I had a friend named Oscar. Anyway, so yeah, pick an eye and pick an arm.
I think it was the left eye.
Which arm do you want to keep? Your right or your left?
Well, I'm right-handed, so I'll keep the right arm.
That could be a mistake.
Okay.
Because if you're right-handed and then you get this bionic arm, it's going to be more like powerful. Then you'll be clumsy with a powerful, not so dominant hand if you go with the left, and you could kill a guy or yourself accidentally.
Be very careful.
But that's the thing is if it's a bionic arm, they can finely tune it to make it not as clumsy.
But during the
And then-
trial and error, you can kill a guy.
Yeah, which is why I need the
probably.
right hand to be already fine. I need it to for all the little
What do you
details
mean?
and stuff.
What do you mean details?
You know,
Do tell.
I write with my right hand. I eat with my
You could
right hand.
speed right with the bionic arm.
I could do that. I could do that anyway. Like I can make myself ambidextrous. I got a right hand and a left hand. I could do.
Well, if you have a bionic left arm,
I don't know. I think
Like
you're
the-
making a mistake.
Like the dominance of the arm doesn't matter because
I want my dominant arm to be my crazy good arm.
It's just electronic. See, no, I'm trying to balance it out. I want to be well rounded.
No.
So okay, you want us to take
Well,
off
it's
your
my
left
body.
arm.
That's all I'm telling.
We're
Left
taking off
arm.
both your legs.
If
your
I'm the
left
one that's
arm.
becoming a bionic person,
Pick an
here,
eyeball.
Eyeball.
I see that. I don't know if I can make that decision.
Pick an eyeball.
I don't want to give up my eyes.
It's easy.
We give just one.
Yeah, but I
You
want
got
both
two.
of them.
Dude,
want-
you're going to be unconscious when we take your eyeball out.
I've never had anybody complain this much
it's not
about
a-
becoming bionic.
It's not a pain thing. I like my eyes. I think they look
Well,
fantastic.
you won't.
Listen,
you won't be
now
able
I've
to
got a
tell it's
bionic eye.
Yeah, and we'll
won't be
knock you out before we come at
Oh,
you with the
yeah.
melon baller.
Oh yeah.
Get that thing right out of there.
Sounds terrible.
You'll be asleep.
I know I'll be asleep, but it just,
Mostly.
no. First off, that's got to be a guarantee. I'm asleep. That can't be a maybe or a mostly. I have to be out.
More than likely.
Oh yeah.
Well, then
you'll
no.
Probably.
No,
you'll probably be
that's
out,
got to
yeah.
be 100%. There can't be any problems here. No problems.
Well, we've got it sorted though. So here it is, Randy. Left eye comes out.
Yeah.
Left arm
I
comes
have
off.
agreed to
Yeah.
no
Both
eyes.
legs come off.
Both
No,
legs.
no eyeballs
Do we
have been
give him
agreed,
bionic
agreed upon.
We should.
You should
Yeah.
have. You should have. I mean,
Yeah.
in the back in the day, the $6 million man. By the way, these days we're talking billions.
Yeah.
But the $6 million man had the eye thing. It was the bionic woman who had
Who had
the
the ears?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
she.
It's
whoa.
always the woman who can hear things.
That's
always.
going to get you in trouble, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we should probably just poke out one of his eardrums.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Put
no.
that bionic
also,
ear in
also
there.
not agreeing to this. This is
Why not? You're going to have
just-
great hearing.
Look, you got to do both eardrums or none. You can't have one
What?
bionic ear.
Sure, you can.
No, because you can hear farther to your right than you can to your left.
Hey, you could just turn it down like a hearing aid to normal, and then, or turn it off. So, but yeah, and you go like this. You don't ever go like this when you're trying to hear something. You go like this.
No,
One.
but if both of your ears work, you don't have to do this at all. You just hear.
All right, fine. We're gonna take out both your ears,
All
and you'll
right.
get bionic hearing in both ears. But don't be upset with us when you get hit by an EMP and you have no damn hearing.
Yep.
Wait,
It's not our fault.
See?
so hold on. No, because then that puts the whole project in jeopardy. I could get
What are
hit
you
with an
talking about,
EMP and lose an
project?
eye. I could get hit with the EMP and lose both my legs and just not be able
no,
to
you
walk.
Should never brought up the
No.
chance that he might
No,
get EMP.
exactly.
Dragging himself up the stairs with the one good arm.
Yes.
Like,
Come
God
on.
Damn it.
Come on. No, absolutely not. No,
chances of
I'm
EMP
taking
are very low.
all of this
You think
back.
about it.
Well, you didn't bring it up like it was a low chance just now.
I probably should have waited for that conversation till after we'd done the procedures.
After the procedure's over. Exactly.
Hey, Keon, hey, what's this sound? Kerthump.
Keon drag his
Keon
ass up the
dragging
stairs
himself up the stairs
after an EMP. Yeah. Or more likely, him falling down the stairs after the EMP.
Just top of the stairs. Down I go.
For now, he's opted for both his eardrums to be pocked out, so he won't be able to hear anybody laughing.
Oh,
So
that's easy.
that's good.
We'll just get the old ice pick on those.
I'm back out.
Melon baller
I'm
and the
back
ice
out.
pick.
God,
We'll
you're a
take care of
baby.
them.
You're such
Wow.
a baby.
I'm sorry for not wanting the possibility of being able to lose all of the function in my body. Sorry for that.
Oh, your bladder will still be fine.
Just fine. I won't be able to walk around,
Your bowels,
use one of
however.
my arms, but no. Bladder, that's fully biological, baby. Get to keep that one. Very helpful, guys.
Well, what do you want to peel off the ceramic when you're peeing? What do you want to do?
I'm sorry, what?
Well, you can make that happen. I mean,
ceramic what now?
I mean, if you want to pee off the ceramic,
Are we giving him a bionic
I think we
pee-pee?
should. I think we
Is he
should.
getting the bionic pee-pee?
No, 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 no.
That's how it sounds when it's time for some love. Just comes out
See
like
that?
the old power antennas used
No,
to.
see,
You don't see those every day.
I can't lose that. Can't lose that. That has to be real. Can't give that part up.
Oh, they have ultra feeling. I mean,
Never heard
It-
somebody
it-
complain
it
so much
won't.
about getting to be bionic.
Then you do it.
how do
Why
know
don't
we're
you
not?
do it?
I've got diarrhea. I just
Oh, is that what it
that's
is?
my excuse to get out of everything. So I'm just saying that. Yeah, I got this diarrhea. Sorry. Beer Bob says, sounds to me like Randy and Jeffrey need the bionic hearing because for some reason they're not listening to you, Keon.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
we're listening. We don't care.
That's mostly the issue there. Yeah.
Wilbur says, damn it, Keon, who's paying for these surgeries? Not you. So just shut up and take it like a man.
No one's paying for these surgeries because I'm not getting any of them. Why don't you do it?
No, 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 no,
Well,
no, no.
Wilbur, yeah.
You could use the help, quite frankly. I mean, just both of your
use
eyes.
an eye or two.
It's
Yeah.
just that,
Wow.
just leave me out of this.
Wow.
See, I wouldn't give
EMP's
Wilbur.
not going to affect you.
I wouldn't give Wilbur the bionic eyes to be mean. I'll just give him bionic hands so he can move his cane back and forth faster. Just like, oh my God, look how fast he is. He's like, yeah. Wilbur's like, this is not helping.
You just made his life worse, objectively.
Everybody he loves has bruises on their ankles. Ah, God dang it, Wilbur. Why? Oaktown Destroyer says, hey, Keon, what do you think about UConn winning in the tournament? UConn.
I mean, they're a favorite for a reason. They've been incredible all year. They're the defending champs. Hard to go back to back though, but they've got a good squad, good coach, and everything.
Wait, you have to realize he spelled it YUKON. So I think he means somebody else.
Oh, somebody else. I mean, well, I don't.
And
I
I'm
don't.
looking on my thing.
I don't know
for
who that would be.
Somebody from the Yukon.
I don't believe we have any participating UConn based NCAA schools in the NCAA tournament.
In the Yukon, they have a university.
Yeah, I've been looking through this for a while.
I forget the handful of NCAA schools that are actually located in the Canada.
Haven't seen
UConn.
YUKON anywhere.
I don't believe one of those
On
schools
the
is
bracket
represented here, or even in the NIT.
Mm.
So-
I guess that's a no, Oaktown Destroyer. Miss Wilbur says, give me a bionic dog so I can train him to bite Jeffrey. Here's the thing, though. I want to give him a bionic dog that runs really fast, that drags him to a stub down the street. I can't let go. The only thing left is a like from shoulder to hand, just left holding the leash. There's nothing left of Wilbur. Just, what you got, little guy? Oh my God! That's how that show ends. Donnie says, "Okay, the bet: crush, as in finishing ahead in the standings. So even if you do better just by one, that's crush.
Just say beat.
Yeah,
because that's what you mean.
Well,
If you beat him by one pick, or the points total up and you beat him by 1. You didn't crush him.
See, crush would be like 20 picks, I think.
Yeah,
crush would be.
It would be a significant number of picks. This is just you beating him, which is fine, but say that.
So we're waiting to hear from Big George if he will take the month's supply of diapers bet against Donnie. Basically, just having the best bracket between the two of them. Whoever has the best bracket between the two of them, month's supply of baby diapers from the opposite side. Now, you guys did have your babies in different months, so keep in mind, if you do this, basically, his baby is the size of Randy. So it's a big baby with adult-sized diapers. Big George is 7 feet tall, Donnie. I know you probably haven't met him in person like we have. I'm just more, he's got a giant baby. And giant babies also go to the bathroom more than normal sized babies. Just know what you're getting yourself into.
More
Donnie.
often, and they produce more.
He doesn't use Pampers. He uses Depends.
Yes.
On his baby.
Yes.
Extra large.
Yes. I mean, it's all right. The beautiful kid. Don't get us wrong. We're not just.
He's just big. Just a big kid.
Oh, yeah.
Against the Spread says he will give out his regional winner. Oh, all right. We're listening. And national champion. I'm going to give that to you today since you're off the air for the rest of the week. Ooh, can't wait. We're here. We're here for it against the Spread. Ready to hear it. We'd love to hear Keon's, but he just never finished his bracket in time.
Yeah, I always fill my bracket out on Wednesday. I just do this. I'm sorry. This is just how it goes.
It takes you 3 days to fill out a bracket?
Yes.
Yeah, I use all the time. And there are at least.
But if you had the Bionics, you'd be done by now.
No, I wouldn't be, because there are a pair of 10 seeds playing, and my bracket can't be done until those teams play.
Is that what that sound was, Randy? Him filling out a bracket. That sounds like something else. To be honest,
I think you're reaching a little.
Just. I think we now know how Bionic Keon will probably die. Yeah. Ray says, Jeffrey, my friend Scott is married to someone who works for the Coyotes. Is that who you're talking about? Oh, yeah, that's probably him, but I don't know his text or nickname. We need an in with the Coyotes to try to get our world record, everybody putting underwear in their heads.
Underwear head night.
Record broken. Yeah, that's a hell of a night. That's a good promotion, I think. Hefty Lefty says, today I found out that there is a town in Kentucky called Penile. They don't have a college, though. I don't think they could have a high school or an elementary either.
Mm-mm.
This has got to be a place that has like 3 houses and maybe a post office. I mean,
stop sign, no stoplight, anything like that. No, just a stop sign.
Dick Whiskers says, hey, fellas, any of you big enough basketball junkie that you're going to fill out a bracket for the ladies tournament? Keon.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. We knew Keon would.
Not me.
I've been watching, so yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say it right here. They have a bracket?
They do have a bracket, yeah.
I had no idea.
Jeez. Here we go.
Yeah.
I know, I'm serious.
I don't know how you couldn't know, because we had a whole story about how they didn't have equal workout equipment during COVID when they got moved.
Sure, but
and that was during tournament time.
But I didn't know that also meant they had brackets. I just thought maybe like
they were just getting together for kicks. I mean,
5 or 6 teams would play each other and it'd be over.
No, they have a bracket.
How many teams? Is it the same?
I think it's the same amount of teams. Yeah.
Is ASU in there?
Lot of good teams.
Is ASU in there?
Hold on. Let me check for you.
Give me a reason.
Why do I have to give
to
you
care?
Either you want to care.
I don't think ASU is in the women's playoffs. What do you call it? I don't think so.
See, Keon, here's the big difference. He would know off the top of his head.
That's
if it weren't the women.
that's not true.
It's true.
It's not true because they have the same amount of teams.
Huh.
I'm not going to know everybody off the top of my head. And no, ASU is not in that one either.
Really looking forward to seeing who the new athletic director is, to be honest. Fish Tank says, not chalk and trash, but ASU is playing in the NIL tournament, are they? I hope not.
They wish it was the NIL, the NIT. I don't.
The NIL tournament.
Because then at least you're getting money. You know.
Yeah. Chief Skull says, what the hell? How do I sign up for the NCAA bracket thing? You go to 1580thefanatic.com, Chief Skull. The link is right there, and it tells you what to do. There's even a password. The password is Harmon. So just go there, log in, and do your thing. You got this, man. Cardinal Art says F Ralph and his bracket. Okay.
Wow.
Don't know what he did there.
Right. He started with Ralph, which I think is also like the bracket's just an afterthought, but
no, you gave me the middle
too,
finger graphic too.
Wow.
Right there.
Wow.
Did he?
Yeah. T-Licious says, greetings and salutations, fellas, and happy Monday. Thank God for March Madness because the Suns are frustrating as hell. And my upsets are going to be all 11/6. I haven't figured out how many yet. The 5-12 looks tempting as well.
Oh, which 5-12?
He doesn't know yet.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, there's usually one, and you just kind of have to guess which one of the teams it's going to be.
Didn't I already give you mine, Keon? You should have written that down.
You notice that whenever we have ideas, Keon does not even bother to write.
No, you said the James Madison versus Wisconsin. I'll consider it. It's good. And I even told you it was a good one, didn't I? I told you it was a good one before the show.
He'd write it down.
Everybody needs to write that one down.
I don't really trust Wisconsin. I told you it was a good one.
Yeah, no, but you didn't write it down. No, I'm just saying.
I didn't have to write it down. If I look at the bracket, I'll remember which one Randy told me.
Forget immediately.
I have already. It's been 2 hours, and I've already not forgotten. That's immediately is already wrong.
I mean, 2 hours is a long time, but there's no way he won't remember 3 hours. Navy Brad says Crush would be Orange Crush, the beverage. Beer Nut says, is it too late to fill out the bracket? No, you got the next 3 days.
As long as you fill it out before, what is it?
9 a.m.
or 9
a.m. on Thursday is when. Wait, no, yes, 9 a.m. Thursday. Sorry, we got the first 4 games, but. And those don't really count in there. Quiet Cannon says, how do you determine the best bracket? The one who has the most wins or the one who picks the winning team? It's just
the way that CBS Sports has done it. And I think if we're just using their average rules, it's you get 1 point for all of the picks in the first round, 2 in the second, and it stacks. So the more teams you have going further, the more points you'll ultimately get.
Did you understand that, Randy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of faded out a little bit. And I am the one who set the damn thing up. I just went, looks good. Click. Ringless Joe says Russell Wilson has a bionic arm, but it's less like the Terminator, more like C-3PO. You are correct. Beer Bob says, yes, Jeffrey, ladies do have a bracket, 64 teams on it. However, they do a week longer than the guys just because they take a week break when they're okay. We're not doing Ant Flow jokes.
Oh boy.
Just gonna stop you right there, Beer Bob.
Just wrong.
Classy.
Last Toby says, although he is right about one thing, when they work together, I'm sure all the gals in the team
sync up.
Things sync up. It's a true thing. That actually does happen. Women at work, it syncs up. So, but I'm not.
We called it in the White House back in the day. We called that Hell Week.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Lost Toby says, I second the F Ralph. All right, there we go.
All right. Jeez. Tell us how you really feel.
8718 says, can we have everyone in the show say tournament instead of tournament? This isn't the East Coast. Well,
that's where I'm from, so I don't.
Tournament. I always said tournament.
The tournament. Yeah. No. Look. I got you. It's tournament. I will pronounce it 16 different ways because I've lived in too many different parts of this country, and I do not apologize for that. I'll pronounce it however I pronounce it.
Well, what region says tournament and which region says tournament?
I don't know.
I guess the East Coast says tournament.
I've always heard tournament.
So
I don't even know which one I've been saying. So, I haven't been paying that close attention.
Have I been saying? I might say both. Who knows?
So I'm not going to promise anything.
Yeah, 8718. You don't even have a text or nickname. Don't come around here telling us how to say things. Told him. See how I did that?
I guess so.
Brooks Koepka is on the text line, says, let's do a golf style bracket. Lowest score wins. Well, that's too easy. Although if you fill it out, you might accidentally get some things right.
You'd have no choice, actually.
I'm intrigued by that idea, Brooks Koepka. But I can't be thinking about it much longer because we were very late for a break. When we come back, it's time for Keon Rose's college basketball dance party, March Madness edition. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The NCAA men's and women's college basketball brackets have been set, and the UConn Huskies are the favorites to win the men's championship and repeat as champions. The Huskies are plus 370. They are the number 1 overall seed. The Houston Cougars are plus 600. The Purdue Boilermakers plus 700. Arizona plus 1,300. And North Carolina and Tennessee plus 1,700. On the women's side, South Carolina undefeated at 32-0, minus 145 to be the champions. Caitlin Clark in Iowa plus 700 and LSU plus 750 to be repeat champs. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
At BetUS.com, why do we care about a college basketball tournament every March? Where bets mean everything? Because it's March Mania, where glory triumphs and anything can happen. Where underdogs can make or break our hearts. Because it's March Mania, where brackets are broken and buzzers are beaten. And there's always been a sports book there for you and your best buds. Because it's March Mania. BetUS has been with you through 30 marches together. And like any good six-man, we've always had your back. And because it's March, BetUS.com is matching the mania with a mad offer. Back, 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. And the extra confidence that comes from a 10% gambler's insurance, because anything can happen during March Mania. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins. Get started today.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hi, I'm Ralph Romano.
And I'm Neil Lynch.
We've been friends for over 30 years. And
Wait. It's been over 30 years?
Yep, you are that old.
Well, at least you have one friend.
Anyway, we have a show called The Weekend Warriors, Saturdays at 10 a.m.
We'll discuss national and local sports, and we'll talk about some sports that you don't hear about much.
We'll also interview local athletes, coaches, and sports-related business owners to share their stories with you.
We look forward to sharing these great stories and hanging out with you.
It's The Weekend Warriors every Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So what do you want to do first? Keon Rose's college basketball dance party, or do you want to hear Against the Spread's futures picks real fast?
Ooh, we should do that first.
Okay. Well, I don't want to. I don't want to corrupt Keon's thoughts and processes by this, though. Should we?
No.
What do you want to do first, Keon?
No, you can go with Against the Spread. I'm interested in hearing it too, and I've already got my notes, so I don't think it's going to change much of what I'm going to say.
Listen up and pay attention. Keon will not write down anything because he didn't write down stuff with Keon. When Randy was talking, so don't be offended when you don't see Keon writing things down.
Yes.
All right. Against the Spread says, here are my futures picks for the tournament. East Region winner, UConn. That team has no holes and are head and shoulders above the competition this year. West Region winner, Baylor. They are athletic as hell and have a great coach. South Region winner, Kentucky. That team has incredible athletes. They are battle tested by winning on the road in the SEC, and they're starting to come together. Midwestern Region winner, Creighton. They were so close last year to the Final Four, and they're hungry to have the easiest path, and they also have the easiest path to the Final Four. My national champion, UConn, beating Kentucky in the final. Enjoy the tournament. Always practice money management and play smart. What a guy.
Interesting.
Those are some really good picks.
If you're not jotting something down with that, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's very interesting.
All right, Against the Spread, thank you so much for being so generous with your thought processes. Like we say, a lot of times you will make money with Against the Spread more often than you wouldn't. But again, as he says, this is only for entertainment purposes only. All right, so now it's time for Keon Rose's college basketball dance party, March Madness edition. All right, Keon, what do you got?
All right, so I've got a bunch of the tournament stuff coming in. As we've talked about, I haven't really filled out my bracket, so I don't have a ton of picks to give you.
Well, good to hear from you, Keon. I guess we'll have to just skip this segment.
All right, dance party's over. Anyway, so here's the thing. There are a bunch of gripes about the way that the tournament selection committee went about their business and went about seeding some of these teams. And I think that there's some legitimate stuff there to really look out for. If you're a fan of the Big East, I think you have to feel like you've been hosed this year. One, you had a bunch of teams that legitimately had a case to be included in this tournament, just didn't make it into the tournament at all. Providence played really good ball this season. They didn't get in. St. John's played amazingly this season, especially down the stretch in conference play, in a conference that I think was the Ken Pom, the second ranked conference of all of the conferences in terms of strength of schedule. Yet St. John's not in. And I think that probably the biggest one that people are looking at as far as the Big East being snubbed is Seton Hall. Seton Hall was not brought into the tournament. They had an amazing year. They had a big run in the Big East tournament as well. And Seton Hall somehow on the outside looking in. If you are somebody who is a fan of North Carolina, you should feel good about the way things turned out for you, because despite losing in the ACC conference tournament, North Carolina, they get a 1 seed. They didn't cost them anything at all. And the victim of that is a very angry Iowa State Cyclone fan base, because Iowa State, they are a 2 seed, so they're still sitting all right. But a couple of things happened to them. One, they were not given the 1 seed, despite the fact that they won their conference tournament. They beat Houston, who is also a 1 seed, and they beat them by 28 points. That didn't really seem to matter for Iowa State. And then to add insult to injury, Iowa State's not just a 2 seed. They are the lowest ranked 2 seed of the bunch, which puts them in, theoretically, the toughest region in the bracket. That absolutely hurts if you're the Cyclones and you played good basketball late in the season and you're still not necessarily being rewarded for it. I don't know what they were thinking with that stuff in Iowa State. I really don't, but that's horrible. That's bad. The Mountain West, you have 6 bids from the Mountain West, which is sort of a compliment. Mountain West did play good basketball this year, especially among the group of 5 schools. But to have 2 of those teams be in a first 4 game, Colorado State and Boise State, just a little insulting. These teams were not just barely good, they were really good all year long. And now you're essentially playing a play-in game to get into the tournament proper. And I don't know why that is fair. It just doesn't seem right to me, but well. And then you have the potentially the biggest bid thief, as they're called, Duquesne. Duquesne is playing at 11. They're playing BYU. And I don't understand this for the life of me. Duquesne at 11 played really well in the A10 tournament. Hats off to them. They do deserve to be in the tournament. But at 11 is really high, especially when you look at some of the games that they lost throughout the season. They lost a game to Fordham University, below 500 Fordham at 12-19. They lost a game to Davidson, the alma mater of Steph Curry, below 500 Davidson at 15-16. Those are 2 losses on your resume that I don't understand how that gets you to an 11 seed. Sure, like a 14, a 13, maybe. But the season that they had, I don't think that you can necessarily say this team is particularly strong. Congrats BYU, I guess, to having a matchup against a team that I don't think has any business being ranked that high. Texas. I love my Horns. They got a boost. The way that they played in conference is disappointing and a little bit concerning. They were 9-9 in the Big 12. They finished 8th in conference play. A lot of the speculators, the people who were projecting this kind of stuff, they had Texas being an 8 seed, even a 9 seed. So for Texas to wind up at a 7, playing a 10, helps them out a lot. Does. And then, of course, they also end up in the portion of the bracket where, as Corby mentioned earlier, they could potentially run into the University of Tennessee. Rick Barnes, not much of a winner in the NCAA tournament. And this Tennessee team, I honest to God do not trust them. I think they are a horrendous offensive team at points in games. Dalton Connect, he's a very good basketball player. Everybody else after him, it's hit or miss as to whether or not they show up offensively. They always play defense at Tennessee, but they don't always play offense at a very high level. That is a problem. Corby mentioned UAB, by the way. They're playing in Spokane, Washington. Probably not a great bit of travel for them. The way they had to move around to win that conference tournament and then basically fly out a couple days later to play in a completely different time zone, far away from their fan base. So you're not going to get that boost of Blazer fans showing up. But the other issue is if you're a fan of the other Alabama team in this bracket, Alabama, the Crimson Tide, they're playing in Spokane, Washington as well. And I'm not saying that they're going to go down in the first round or anything, but that bit of travel, that removal from your fan base, and the fact that Alabama can be a very streaky shooting team, that should be a little bit concerning in that portion of the bracket as well. And then the biggest miss, the thing that I think stands out the most, is the team that missed the tournament being Indiana State. Indiana State played really good basketball this year, and I think they played really fun basketball as well. And I'm mad that America's not going to be able to see Robbie Avila do his thing. Robbie doesn't look like he should be on a basketball court. He's kind of a, chunky guy. He's got the goggles on, moves very slowly, but then he actually gets the basketball and he just looks like Nikola Jokic on a college basketball floor. The shots he makes, insane. He's an incredible passer for a big guy. There's so much stuff that he does well. And the committee said, nope, don't want to see that. Don't want to make a media darling out of somebody who is actually very easy to root for. Why would we do that? And so we end up with no Indiana State in the NCAA tournament. Very bizarre. The 3 games that I'm looking at in the tournament is the Wisconsin James Madison matchup, which Randy mentioned earlier. I thought that the Wisconsin team is they almost played themselves out of tournament play at one point in the season. They did get things back on track near the end there, but they were in the top 25 for a long time and basically played their way out of it and never played their way back in. The Florida-Colorado matchup, and that's a potential matchup, of course, because Colorado is in that 7-10 play-in game. But But if Colorado gets in against Florida, I think that there's a potentially good matchup there for the Buffaloes. Florida's been up and down this season. I do think that there's a chance that Colorado could take Florida out. And then the other matchup I'm looking at, as I mentioned before, Bama on the road against Charleston. And when I say on the road, I mean that they're in Spokane. Everybody's on the road. But they're in Spokane, which is pretty far away, again, from where their fan base is. And that travel does help. That's why a lot of people actually do like GCU, is that, the Havoc are capable of following them, and we know what the advantage is there with them. And that is my college basketball dance party.
All right. Thank you, Keon. Very useful information for everybody as they try to, figure out their bracket. I can't, because I'm just doing a dumb thing. I'm just
because you're locked into a really fun gimmick here.
Well, I texted with Ralph, and what he had, popped this picture where it said that he had UAB, which, by the way, every time I hear UAB, I'm thinking about Call of Duty when they say UAV. But that's just me. But he has UAB beating Western Kentucky, and he was just like, this isn't working for me, because he was using the full name. So our text exchange was, what do you think? We should just go by what's on the bracket only. On the actual CBS Sports bracket, where it says, for instance, Clemson or New Mexico, or if there's any like Michigan State, they don't spell out state, so you don't have to have the A or the E. So using that format where you just exactly whatever's there, most or least vowels, that is how we're going to go ahead and do our thing. And I guess we'll see what happens after that. But anyways, we got to take a break. When we come back, whatever we can cram into the last segment, plus on this date in Big Georgia sports history. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Oh, this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
No, I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. For years, I've been telling you about refinancing, new home loans, all the great stuff that the Lund Mortgage Team can help you with from start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates were bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage Team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. or online, lundmortgage.com.
Come join American Furniture Warehouse and see our amazing deals on sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom furniture and mattresses, dining room furniture and accessories. AFW has the latest styles, largest selection, and lowest prices anywhere. Our warehouses are full and ready for you to take your new furniture home today. At American Furniture Warehouse, you'll find the perfect items for your space at a price you'll love. Visit one of our 3 Phoenix area showrooms or shop online at afw.com. afw.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game, or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
It's election time. Make your vote count. Register to vote or check your voter registration by going to arizona.vote. Remember, elections are run at the local level by your friends and neighbors, and there are safeguards in place every step of the way to ensure your vote is counted accurately and securely. For more information and updates, visit arizona.vote, your trusted source of election information. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Secretary of State's office.
Before becoming a professional announcer, I took the announcer oath, which forbids me from misleading listeners.
Just wrap your heads around the reality of that.
That means I speak the truth when I say you can listen to us on your smart speaker. Just say, listen to 1580 The Fanatic.
So much happened today that we didn't get to talk about. It's difficult for the show. But one thing I didn't want to let go by was two things in the NBA. It's like the Goofus and Gallant of the NBA. If you were to say, over here, Victor Wembanyama did a thing, that would be Gallant. And over here, DeAndre Ayton said a thing. He would be Goofus. Usually in the highlights magazine, you'd have Goofus first, and then Gallant would come along and show you how it's supposed to be done. So let's do that. DeAndre Ayton, I guess, was being interviewed saying, why are you having a hard time, man? What's going on here? And he says, well, to be honest, I've been sleeping on this air mattress, and I'm just not sleeping well. Yeah, my body just wasn't my body. People forget the humane difference of me adjusting to everything. That included something as routine as getting proper sleep, just being comfortable and waking up. I didn't have a bed for quite some time. I was on an air mattress, just trying to figure this out. Didn't he get like a max contract? Doesn't he have more money than God? And he can't figure out how to get a sleep number bed into his house or apartment or stay in a hotel where there's an actual bed? Oh, my God.
He didn't have a bed, you said.
Just making excuses. And if they are real, you're an idiot. If they are anything other than excuses, well, you're pathetic. Just pathetic.
That's the problem here. Like, you basically outlined it. There are only two options, and neither one is good. You're either lazy or stupid or both. So maybe a third option of combining the two, I guess. But still,
how tall is he? How tall is he that he fits on a damn air mattress?
He's 7 feet tall.
Look, who makes a 7 foot tall air mattress?
Yeah, I mean, as a person who has once slept on an air mattress, I can tell you, they don't make 7 foot tall air mattresses. Not that you can easily find, but like you said, look, these places deliver the mattress to your house and quickly. There's no way. There's no way. The bed frame, the box spring, the mattress, all of that gets delivered to your house. There's no reason to have an entire summer go by and the season starts and you yourself don't have a bed if that's important to you. He's 25. He's not 4.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Victor Wembanyama plays the same position as him, right?
He does. Center.
Oh, okay. Well, there's Goofus, DeAndre Ayton, blaming an air mattress is why he stinks ever since he showed up in Portland. Well, on the other end, here's Gallant, Victor Wembanyama, making history wherever he goes. Saw this on the CBS sports site. His last stat, 33, 15, 7, and 7. That is amazing. 33 points, 15 rebounds, 7 blocks, 7 assists.
7 blocks is
and
crazy.
He's 20.
It's crazy.
So here's the people who did it before him. Well, Joel Embiid did it when he was 23. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did it when he was 27. Also, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did it when he was 33. Victor Wembanyama is 20. And he's broke that record, and he's broken like 5 other records before this.
He's going to be something special.
How many records has DeAndre Ayton got here? Let me see if his name shows up anywhere in here. No. None. I see no records that have been taken care of by DeAndre generational talent Ayton.
But also, and how about this? I was reading earlier in the season that Victor Wembanyama doesn't answer phone calls from the Spurs after 9 p.m. because he reads a book for an hour and then he goes to sleep. So he told the team, please don't call me. I'll be in bed.
Goofus is on the bed for people who want to be on sleeping on the floor in the middle of the night. There you are. And Gallant, he reads a book and goes right to sleep.
And I know DeAndre
makes
Ayton,
excuses. Gallant makes records.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Sad to say, because I do want DeAndre Ayton to do well, but
he used to play better, but this is ridiculous.
Family is from the Caribbean, but you've lived here for a very long time. Victor Wembanyama, this is his first full year living in America. And somehow Victor Wembanyama, who's much younger, figured out how to get a bed here to America that he can sleep in and be in before 10 p.m.
He doesn't even know English. Big George says, as a fellow 7-footer, I can attest to the fact that air mattresses are not made in a size that fits our entire length. DeAndre Ayton is a liar. He had a sleep number bed, which is just a glorified air mattress. Don't give him excuses and ideas, Big George.
If he had a sleep number bed and it wasn't working, I mean, they're the ones that'll tell you, hey, we'll fix your sleep or your money back. Get your money back. I'm sorry. You got traded in the off season. You didn't get traded in the middle of the season and boy, where am I going to sleep and all of that stuff. You got traded in the summer. If you haven't figured out where you're sleeping by the time the season starts, there's no hope for you.
I think the teams also have liaisons that help these guys get adjusted and find housing and
or do they expect them to be grown-ups?
I think they have.
They do have that, yeah.
And they cater to their needs. What do you need? What kind of a bed do you need? How can we get we set you up with movers? We've got a realtor selling your other property. I mean, they do everything basically for them. So this is a big pile of manure is what this is. DeAndre Ayton just hasn't figured out how to be an adult.
And this is a guy who in this very same season was late to a game because it snowed and he just couldn't figure out. He had all day to figure out how to get out of his house. He couldn't figure out how to get out of his house and neighborhood. Meanwhile, his entire team, I think they also still live in Portland, the rest of them, they managed to get to the game on time. No, not DeAndre Ayton.
Well,
excuses on excuses.
You have now completely found the entirety of DeAndre Ayton. He just is not enough of a grown-up to handle regular life. Yeah. And also, which means he's not enough of a grown-up to do what needs to be done on the basketball court. He doesn't have the mental fortitude to take one thing, build on it, and become better. If it's not easy immediately, he gives up. So when he was not like the man in Phoenix, he gave up, and he gave up around the time of the NBA Finals when we needed him the most. Yeah. And then when he was taking criticism, any criticism reduces him. And he got traded to Portland. He's like, I'm going to show you. And then it was hard. And so that reduces him. He's been reduced to a guy who can't get his life together off the court. Of course, he's not going to play well on the court. Good sleep or no sleep. I'm sorry. I've lost even more respect for DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
But Victor Wembanyama, you can marry my daughter.
I mean, I just think with Ayton, man, it's so sad to see because he is tremendously talented. And just to see somebody basically throw that talent away. I don't know what to make of that. It's just one of those things where it's like, man, if I was blessed with that ability to have that opportunity to go to the NBA, make generational kinds of money, I wouldn't waste that. But he's wasting it. Like he
already has the guaranteed money.
He's got the guaranteed money, and he'll never see it again. Like, wouldn't you like to get paid a second time? Because
I would bet him and his family will live off that guaranteed money for quite some time.
They can, but. I don't know.
It's a shame, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like that because there are definitely guys that get to the league and see that first contract and go, I want more of this. And they give you more because they want more money. And I got no problem with that.
Ray says, sounds like DeAndre Ayton's living in a glorified dorm room with that air mattress. Is that why he was late to the game? No, it's because he's afraid of ice. Dirty Bird says, Ayton bought a diamond necklace before bed. He bought himself a nice necklace before he got himself a bed. Hey, priorities, right? Yeah, you're right. I feel like there's a guy who had the right priorities the other night, and we're all better for it. On Sunday, Grady Dick and Orlando Magic's rookie Anthony Black, they decided to do a jersey swap, and here's a picture of them right there. with and they both are smiling like the cat ate the canary. And I don't know if you see this photograph of why.
Anthony Black was talking to Grady, and he whispered something to him, and you can see Grady go, oh, F it. Let's do it.
Why not? Why not? That is legendary.
Yep.
They will no longer be allowed to stand next to each other. Adam Silver's on the phone. Grady Dick and
happen?
Anthony Black can no longer stand next to each other, swap jerseys. We need to keep them at least 12 feet apart from each other.
There better not be Anthony Black guarding Grady Dick at all. It just can't happen.
We're not going to let them play. Their teams are going to play each other anymore. It's off the schedule.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the greatest moments in NBA history right there.
Wow.
It absolutely is.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This. Oh, by the way, if you have no idea what we're saying, there's no way I'm reading that on the radio.
Nope.
You'll have to go find our YouTube feed and go to the 3 hour and 52-minute mark and find the picture I showed, because I'm not saying that on air.
Just can't do that.
No. There's no way to do it. Sometimes you can work around it. Not this time.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Against the Spread says, I thought DeAndre Ayton bought himself a pearl necklace before bed because he's a little bitch with T-Rex arms. Okay, that's probably not something
that's still not as bad as what you just avoided reading.
That's that's true. Time now, ladies and gentlemen, for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1995, Michael Jordan announced he was ending his 17-month NBA retirement and returning. Jordan shocked the world with a now infamous two-word fax: I'm back. Next day, March 19th, more than a year after his retirement, he was back on the floor with the Chicago Bulls taking on Reggie Miller and the Pacers. He wore 45 during the game because they retired his number 23. So wait, he never wore 23 again?
No, he did. But
they just unretired it, right?
Yeah, they had to unretire it. So he wore 45 for a few games.
Oh, that's no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just weird if you see, like, I saw the Knicks game when he came back, and it's just odd. You just seeing him out there with the 45 on. I
feel like they could have taken care of that pretty quick. I don't think there was any need for that. But
it was mid-season.
He faxed them, I'm back. Today, you just tweet it, I'm back, and everybody was like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
There's no need. Does anybody ever fax anybody anymore?
Some people do.
Like financial people do or something. Like, or you have to go to a FedEx store to fax somebody something because that's the only way they'll take your information or something.
When I used to work in a library, people came in to fax all the time because we had a fax machine and no one has one anymore. So some people do, but almost nobody.
Almost ban that as a thing. There, it's not right making people have to go find archaic ways of sending information. Oh, wait. Shh. No, we work in radio. Everybody be quiet. I did not mean to bring attention to this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
That was close.
Ralph Has Crabs says, I see that the first NCAA tournament game tomorrow is at 3:30. Does that mean we get a half-hour blender tomorrow? No, you don't see us again until next Monday. So here's what's going to happen: from 3 to 3:30 on Tuesday and Wednesday. Your guess is as good as mine. Probably a betting show thing, and then at 3:30, the actual broadcast for Westwood One starts.
I'm trying to be humble about this.
Yeah, I'm not even.
We got in trouble before, but
it is funny. I'm really
funny.
glad that Radio Ron is out of town at the moment. I don't want to get that phone call saying, "How about 2 p.m." and then I'm hanging up on him. He's going to make me have to hang up on him.
Mm-hmm.
Ringless Joe says, "Hey, why do the Steelers back Tomlin when he hasn't won a playoff game since 2016? Is winning 9 regular season games really the bar in Pittsburgh?"
Yeah, you win 9 regular season games with Mason Rudolph and come back. Figure it out.
And Ringless Joe, it's about the entirety of his career there. He's never had a less than winning season. And
he's
yeah,
won Super Bowls.
It's a good point.
Won playoff games.
It's been 8 years since they've.
It's just you're struggling
done
to get quarterback right. Like that's the place that everybody struggles to get
Team
right.
hasn't been right for
When
several
you're-
years.
when
You
your guy
almost have to
retires.
fire him so they can get a higher pick in the draft.
Yeah,
because they'll never get the number one pick.
Keeps coaching them to
Yeah.
average. That's not an average roster. That's a below average roster.
You know what?
They had Kenny Pickett out there throwing passes on purpose.
It is a problem. You might have to just put your arm around him and say, "Hey, Mike, why don't you take a year off? Come back."
Just let somebody else coach us to like 3 wins, and we'll get this thing sorted. You know.
Ron Rivera can come over here and. No, wait, he does
We'll
about
get
the
a
same
first-
thing sometimes.
first draft pick,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
We'll figure
No,
it
Ron,
out.
Ron got them to a successful 4 victories last season.
Oh, no, he's our in. All right, guys, that's it for us. We will see you next Monday. In the meantime, enjoy the March Madness here on 1580, The Fanatic. Bye.